Major hurdle in getting back to the Super Bowl, because if they win, they will be on the home field in 2 weeks for a divisional playoff game. But if the Raiders beat the Giants, it would probably mean the Giants would have to go to Anaheim to play the Rams next week in a wild card game. And the Giants were beaten badly by the Rams in Anaheim during the regular season. I'm joined by a former Viking All-Pro who knows these frigid conditions well. Ahmad, Rashad, where is that greenhouse effect when we need it, babe?
That's right. You know, one thing you learn about the cold weather is you can't spend too much time with it, because winning players realize you're going to freeze. You just got to go out and play. The Giants know that.
The Raiders had a very spirited and good passing workout yesterday at nearby Montclair State in similar conditions. But the running game's going to be the key today. They both have to run it to win.
They really do. But I was talking to Phil Simms. He said this is the best weather conditions they've had out here at the stadium in the last 3 games that they've played here. And I was watching Berline throw in the warm-ups, and he throws the ball very well. So I think if they have to pass, the weather conditions is not going to bother them.
The running back for the New York Giants, who has keyed their resurgence this year and should have them on their way to a divisional playoff if they win it today, is Otis Anderson, oldest starting runner in the NFL at 32. Needing just 51 yards to hit 1,000.
Well, O.J. Anderson told me that at the beginning of the season, he was a Plan C free agent, meaning that nobody wanted him but himself. So he's out to show everybody that he's still got some life left in those legs.
And on the pregame show at NFL Live, you heard Al Davis talking about the greatness of number 34 of the Raiders, Bo Jackson, averaging 5.6 a carry. He could go to 1,000 yards for the season, playing just 11 games.
Bo Jackson brings his act to Broadway, and I talked to him before the game. He said, you know what, it's too warm out here. Turn on the air conditioner. So he's ready to play.
And going after him will be Lawrence Taylor, playing with a cracked bone in his ankle. But LT's great in big games.
That's right. I don't know about the air conditioner, but he will get heat. And that heat will be provided by Lawrence Taylor, who in everybody's view is maybe the best linebacker to ever play in the National Football League. And what a deal we have today. We get to watch Bo Jackson and Lawrence Taylor, and we also get to watch Art Shell, who started his debut here a few weeks ago when the Raiders got back to the old ways. And I say Art Shell is bringing this Raider team back. They are starting to look like the Raiders of old. The mystique is back.
There's Bill Parcells in his 7th year as the head coach of the Giants. He's had a Super Bowl winner. He has been ruling with an iron hand in practice this week. They've been on this cold playing field at Giant Stadium for hours on end, getting ready for this critical game. And now the Giants, Bjorn Nitmo picks it up to start the game. He hits a high spin, it'll carry short. Coming up, Stephon Adams can't get to it. Steve Smith, a fullback, takes it, and he is out to the 36-yard line. So the Raiders go on offense to start the game. There is Steve Berline in his 2nd year from Notre Dame. His offensive line, new starter at left tackle. Graves is out. Steve Wright is in. Mosbar's good at center. Wisniewski from Penn State has been tremendous as a rookie at guard. Bo Jackson, the starting runner, averaging 5.6 a carry. Galton Fernandez both like to go to the deep pattern. And Mike Dial has been catching a lot of deep balls at tight end. Vance Miller will come in as a receiving back on the longer yarded plays. Raiders come out in that basic pro set they're so noted for. Wide receiver to either side, open set in the backfield. First down and 10, Los Angeles. Berline going to air it out, and first down, here comes LT, and Taylor with his 14th sack. At his best in the biggest games, and LT starts fast, and the Giants knock the Raiders back with a sack.
Don, I got such a kick the other day when we were talking to Lawrence Taylor, and you said, is this the best team you've ever played on? He said, well, we're 11-4. That's pretty good, ain't it? Once again, you see Lawrence Taylor here. Steve Wright trying to stop him, but I don't think there's anybody that can stop Lawrence Taylor. Man, Steve Wright just grabs a piece of his jersey, has to let it go, and Taylor makes the sack.
8-yard loss on the play. So now the Raiders are up against it with 3 wideouts in the game. Berline, playing without gloves, gives to Bo Jackson. The Giants shut him down. On 2nd and 18, Bo Jackson gets little, if anything at all. It'll bring up 3rd and about 18. Taylor shooting in on the play again, playing with a cracked bone in his ankle. He's unbelievable.
Well, one thing you see, Lawrence Taylor is not a one-dimensional player. He not only rushes the passer, he is a tremendous tackler. He's what the people like to say. He's a great football player. There is not anything on a football field that he doesn't do well, that he doesn't do spectacularly well.
76,000 strong backing the Giants. Raiders have dominated the series, winning 5 of 6 previous meetings. End up to Jackson, looking to turn the corner left side, and he's cut down in the backfield. Mark Collins comes up on him, the left side cornerback. So it is 3 downs and out as the Raiders lose yardage in their first possession. And Coach Shaw with some counsel for quarterback Burline is Mark Collins, the fourth-year cornerback out of Cal Fullerton. Made another stop in the backfield.
The one thing that has kept this New York Giant team alive all season has been their defense. They are tremendous. And they get you in a situation where you've got to pass. You are at a tremendous disadvantage.
Gossett, punter, Los Angeles, proven cold weather punt of his years at Cleveland. He drives Meggett deep. Dave Meggett, a rookie who's going to the Pro Bowl, breaks it across the 35. He's not done till he crosses the 40. Still on his feet. Meggett could go the distance. Dave Meggett's inside the 30. No one will catch him now. And the rookie from Towson State takes it the distance with no flag on the field. A 52-yard punt into the wind, and Meggett brings it back 76 yards for the Giants. As the first time they touch the ball in this game, they go right through Art Shell's coverage team. And the Giants, with Nitmo hitting the extra point, have taken a 7-0 lead.
Dave Meggett is the guy that has scared this Raider team the entire week. He's just named to the Pro Bowl, and when that happens to you, what inspires you to go out is to show everybody else, this is the reason why I'm going to the Pro Bowl. And Meggett here, just with a great run, keeps his feet and just keeps on coming. That is just a spectacular punt return. And he's the guy that the Raiders worried about, Dave Meggett.
And he gave them plenty of reason to worry as the Giants are on the roll.
Are you the one to put these?
Oh, yeah. Look at the angel of one.
Move with it. This is it. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
When you gather around for the holidays, there's no better beer to have around than Michelob. Look for our tree at your store and have a happy holiday.
Another Pontiac First is ready for delivery. The first four-door version of Grand Prix style and performance. The new Grand Prix Sports Sedan. You've got to drive it.
Get on your Pontiac and ride.
The exciting new four-door Grand Prix. You've got to check it out.
We build excitement.
Now get 4.8% financing on every new Grand Prix during Pontiac's all-out excitement closeout.
Stuffing.
Mr. Scrooge loves the new stuffing and the 5-piece holiday meal deal from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Stuffing.
With 5 pieces of the Colonel's chicken and 2 buttermilk biscuits, all for only $4.99. Perfect for the 2 of us. Heavens, it's the Cratchits!
Hide the stuffing.
We brought the 10-piece holiday meal.
With 4 biscuits.
And more stuffing.
Just $9.99.
I like the way you think, Cratchit.
Get the 5 or 10-piece holiday meal deal at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Dave Meggett, a rookie heading to the Pro Bowl, just showed why. As on the first punt of the game, he takes it back 76 yards for a touchdown, a club record punt return yardage in his first season. Eclipsing the mark of the great Emlyn Tunnell.
No better feeling down than being named to the Pro Bowl on a team that's on its way to a championship.
Nitmo kicks off again. This time the swirling winds abate and it goes a little deeper, and Stephon Adams runs it back for the Raiders. And he's up to the 23-yard line.
Dave Meggett makes the kind of play that turns a season into a championship season. You see him break 3 tackles. There's 2 tackles he broke right there. Here comes another one, and he just keeps those legs going, always going forward. Now he is off to the races here. But an excellent job by the entire New York Giants special teams. They don't have a weakness. They come at you not only offensively and defensively, but they have great special teams here.
Raiders lost 11 yards in their first possession on 3 downs. Now they start from inside their 25. Jackson. Collins makes the tackle. And a marker goes down as Bo Jackson, who couldn't get wide left with Collins in pursuit, now can't get wide right with Collins at him. And the Raiders were holding anyway.
It appeared that Gary Reasons was held He was in pursuit of the play. Like
Holding
Steve.
76 offense. 10-yard penalty. Will replay the first down.
Wisniewski, the rookie guard, is having such a big year. Gene Barth, the referee. 12:27 to play in the first quarter. And the ball is positioned now back inside the 15-yard line.
You see the right side of your frame. Wisniewski trying to block reasons. He just gets that arm out there, grabs him around the shoulder pad. But at that point, by the time he gets his hand off him, it's a little bit too late. The flag had been thrown.
Raiders need a hit deep on a throw. Berline quarterback. Fernandez, the leading receiver at the bottom of your screen. That's where he's looking. Throw to Fernandez, but not close. Berline's been off target in recent weeks. Missed an open receiver. It was Fernandez in the end zone of that Seattle game that Al Davis was lamenting on NFL Live that would have won the game. The Giants defense claws and fights and gets it done. Washington, Howard, and Marshall across the front. Carl Banks having another tremendous year. Reasons and the inside backers, and Lawrence Taylor, you know all about him. Sheldon White comes in an extra DB in a nickel defense. Myron Guyton at strong safety, an 8th-round draft choice from Eastern Kentucky, has been tremendous. He's the Giants' leading tackler. Pitch back to Bowes. Reasons 55 gets him, so Jackson is 0 for 3 on carries. He got nothing at all. In fact, has minus yardage.
This New York Giant group of linebackers is as good as any in the business. Once again, they try to go Bo Jackson, try to run him wide away from Lawrence Taylor, who still gets in near the tackle, but it's Gary Reasons that brings him down.
Now they're going to Marcus Allen in the backfield. He's the wing back off to the left. We'll be running a pattern on 3rd and 20. That's into block. Berline looking deep downfield at Marcus. Pump faking. Berline takes off but gets into the 15-yard line. A gain of just a yard. So again, in their second possession, the Raiders lose yardage on 3 consecutive downs and have to punt into the swirling wind. But LT is down. Troubled by that injured ankle. He has a cracked bone in that right ankle.
And that's the ankle that he's holding on to now. It's another look at Lawrence Taylor. Always coming, always coming. Just so intense. You've got to block him long past the time that you think that you have to, because he will always be around the ball. They see Lawrence coming over a little bit, and he sort of hits that ankle when he flips over the pile. That's something that Lawrence was talking about. We really need to win this game so we can have some time out. We got a lot of little nicks that if we can get a couple of off, everybody will be back at full strength.
Well, as you know, he's not planning to lose today because he's got a flight reservation to Puerto Rico tonight.
That's why you see the best thing I can do therapy-wise for my ankle is go play a little golf in Puerto Rico.
They expect to be off till Thursday if they win. Jeff Gossett hit a very good punt into the swirling wind, 52 yards, but number 30, Meggett, ran it back 76 for the game's only score. 7-0 Giants. Another good punt. High into the wind. Here's Meggett at his 39. Raiders cover this time. Free ball. Raiders seem to have it. They're signaling they do. We'll see if the official concurs. He does. So a break goes the Raiders' way, to the dismay of Coach Bill Parcells. Meggett, after the play of the game, on his first possession, first time he touched it, now loses it on his second punt return. Vance Mueller got the ball. Watch, 42.
One of the tough things about playing in cold weather is hanging on to that football. You see Dave Meggett with no place to go. He picks one guy and just tries to go straight ahead, and that helmet is put right on the ball, which knocks it free. Vance Mueller's right there to make the big play, number 42. Once again, Meggett with the ball, no place to go, just tries to go straight up the field. Ball is knocked loose by Ethan Horton, and Vance Mueller, 42, makes the play for the Raiders.
They're going to review it now upstairs. That was Ethan Horton, the former number.
First down.
Play stands. Ethan Horton, a former #1 draft choice of the Kansas City Chiefs, as a runner, picked up by the Raiders as a free agent. They have 13 #1 draft choices, as Lawrence Taylor's injured ankle is retaped. But 8 of them were drafted by other teams. 8 of the Raiders' first 13 #1 picks.
Al Davis says Ethan Horton had a chance to be great. He's a project.
Play fake, first down, and again the rush comes. This time it's Johnny Cooks, number 98. So Coach Shell's Raiders are losing yardage on all 3 possessions so far.
That left tackle spot has been a problem for the Raiders, and Bill Parcells says that's where we want to attack. And here comes Johnny Cooks right over left tackle to make this play. I'm sure that upsets Art Shell quite a bit, because no one went over Art Shell when he played.
No one. His hands tell a great football story. On one hand is a ring with 3 diamonds for the 3 Super Bowl teams he was a part of. On the other hand is a Hall of Fame ring. Burline. Swing, gets it out on a screen to Bo Jackson, but again the Giants cut him down. Pepper Johnson, number 52, makes the knockdown after a gain of just 2 yards.
The way to stop Bo Jackson is to don't give him any place to run. And the Giants have not given him any room to maneuver, because once he starts going forward, he's pretty tough to stop. You see Lawrence Taylor, the champion player that he is, he's back out there on the field. That golf's some kind of motivation.
He plays hurt. He plays well. He's going to the Pro Bowl for a 9th time, and this is his 9th year in the NFL. One of the greatest defensive players in the history of the league. Who in the history of the league has dominated big games more? Burline, downfield strike. He hits it down to Alexander, who, cutting in on a post pattern, left to right, takes it to the 26 and gets down to the 25. So Burline throws a strike to a Penn Stater, Mike Alexander, good for a 24-yard gain.
These weather conditions are not really going to affect the passing of either one of these teams. It's just the fact that the Raiders have not been able to run on this defense, and this is the way they're going to have to go. This is a very nice shot by Burline. Puts it right in there. Very nice catch there, too, by Alexander, number 89.
Myron Guyton, the strong safety, made the stop. Handoff. Smith, the power back, takes it down to the 22-yard line. Steve Smith, a 235-pounder who blocks like a guard, having his best year running the ball. He's averaging over 4 a carry, almost 500 yards. Big score at Philadelphia. The Cardinals are up on the Eagles, 7-0. And New Orleans leads Indianapolis. That advantageous to the Raiders, who need the Colts to lose.
It's going to be a tough time to try to beat those Saints down there in New Orleans. We've seen them play earlier in the year, and they are a fine football team.
Had some very tough early losses. Wednesday they finished 9-7, the Saints. Raiders down 7-0. 7:55 to play in the first quarter at frigid Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. At 2nd and 7, they give Burline time, and he throws a fastball that's caught and taken down to the 11-yard line by Marcus Allen, who missed a lot of weeks with a strained knee. Saw Marcus at practice yesterday. I'm not a good pal of yours. His weight's down to 207. He said the holes are a little smaller now to fit through them.
He is an excellent player. Here, Marcus just swings out of the backfield on the left side, and nobody picks him up. They're playing a deep zone, which enables Allen to be over here by himself. A very dangerous receiver coming out of that backfield. 11-yard pickup by Marcus Allen, who I don't know if there's any other back in the National Football League that is as talented as he is coming out of the backfield. Great hands.
Won the Heisman, won the Super Bowl MVP award, won the NFL MVP award. Marcus Allen. Raiders challenging now, first down. Burline gets more time, and he's making connections as Galt, cutting off the right flank, is down to the 7-yard line, where Carl Banks, number 58, made the stop for the Giants. What looked like it might be a blowout early when the Giants went up 7-0, the first time they touched the ball on a 76-yard punt return. Now the Raiders are challenging to tie it up.
Terry Robisky, you see there to the left, the tight end coach for the Raiders, says that Carl Banks is a franchise player. I asked him about him. He said the guy has an S underneath his uniform. He doesn't make any mistakes at all. And there you see him making the tackle there on Willie Galt.
2nd down and 6 for the first down. 2nd and 7 for a touchdown. Pitch back Smith. Raiders blocking hard, and Smith didn't get in, but he might have 4 new downs for the Raiders.
Very important, Don, in a game like this, at the weather being like it is, that the Raiders get in and keep this game close. Because the only time you start thinking about the weather, if you fall way behind on the scoreboard, it's going to get awful tough down here, though. The Giants have been so tough down on the goal line, and they take it as a group that they don't want anybody to score on them.
Last 3 games, as you know, Ahmad, they've had goal line stands. Had them against the Cowboys in their last win, 15-0. First down Raiders. So they've got it first and goal from point-blank range. Raiders brought in those extra heated benches. Giants have 4 of them. The Raiders have almost one for everybody. This is where the Giants, as you pointed out, take great pride. This defense guts it out down deep. Biasi comes in. Number 99, a linebacker from Boston College who makes big sticks.
And Marcus Allen's in the backfield. Anytime he's there, you always got to look over that flyover.
Marcus goes over the top. Play fake. Pattern downfield, and Ethan Horton makes the reception for a Raider touchdown. So the Raiders come right back in this game, and Coach Art Shell, who came in and when he took over, fired Mike Shanahan and told him go back to having fun playing football, and they started to win right away.
I tell you, it's something about being able to sit on a helmet that makes you play a little harder. As you know, when Shanahan was there, he had a lot of rules, and a lot of guys didn't like them. They couldn't sit on their helmet the old Raider way. But now that Art Shell's back, the Raiders just come out and play solid football at you. They don't care about anything else. And they used to Berline finding Ethan Horton wide open in the back of the end zone.
Jeff Jaeger hits the point after. So Berline throwing strikes all the way down the field, ties it up with the TD throw.
You hear the thunder, the call of the road.
Moving quick and with purpose. That's the whole idea behind Pontiac's newest Grand Prix.
Get on your Pontiac and ride, Pontiac ride.
Introducing the first Grand Prix ever with 4 doors. The new Grand Prix Sports Sedan.
Build excitement.
Now get 4.8% financing on every new Grand Prix during Pontiac's All-Out Excitement Closeout.
Wasn't too long ago when an American car here in Switzerland would make people look up in surprise. Not anymore. Oh, I wouldn't say they're all over the place, but GM sells a lot of cars over here these days. Good cars at good value. I should know. This is my dealership right here.
GM exports more cars around the world from North America than any other car manufacturer.
It's 32 degrees, and Jan Trumpeter is learning all about her antifreeze. The hard way.
Why is this happening to me?
Don't push your luck. Guarantee it with advanced formula Prestone.
Here you see Bo Jackson going in motion, which takes Pepper Johnson out. This is Steve Biasi, who's going to come in here, allowing Ethan Horton to go right here and be wide open. Ethan Horton, nobody on him the entire way. This is just pitch and catch here. You can do that in your backyard. If you get somebody to knock you into the wall like you got knocking at the end, just a little catch, playing catch there.
You talked about it being a reclamation project. Did not work out as a running back. He was a very high pick, 15th player chosen overall when he came out of North Carolina. Jaeger kicks off in this tie game. The Giants have not run a play from scrimmage in this game. Their touchdown on the kickoff or the punt return here is Ingram fumbling the ball. It's up for grabs. The Raiders have it. The Raiders lose it. The Giants have it inside the 10-yard line. Meggett recovers back at his 6-yard line.
The thing that I mentioned, Don, that and you get a tough cold weather day, the hardest thing to do is hold on to that football.
Robinson makes this stick him out to free it. Jerry Robinson.
Your hands are a little bit brittle. All it takes is just a little bit of helmet anywhere around those hands, and that ball just pops loose.
Which 57 put a helmet on it. Bang.
And the ball popped loose now. Now everybody gets a shot at it here. Instead of just picking this ball up and, falling on the ball, all of a sudden it gets loose. And Meggett makes a nice play to
67. Dan Turk also on the play, but the Giants get it back inside their 10-yard line. Otis Anderson, on his first carry of the day, takes it out across the 15-yard line. Lyndon King, outside backer, making the stop for the Raiders, 52.
We talk about O.J. Anderson. You got to get to that offensive line. Here's another look at that fumble. Jerry Robinson just puts his hat right on top of the ball. Now the ball's loose. Everybody's trying to get a shot at it. But there comes Dave Meggett, just falls on it.
Let's go back to the run. Maurice Carthon takes it straight ahead. Giants changed their running game when their speed back Joe Morris went out with a season-ending injury. Elephant line. Eric Moore starts at left tackle. These guys all around 300. A rookie, Brian Williams, their #1 pick from Minnesota, starting at right guard. Bill Sims, the veteran quarterback, in his 11th year with Anderson and Carthon as starting runners. Dave Meggett comes in. He'll be out of the backfield receiving balls. First and 10 Giants in this tie game, 7-7. Anderson runs. Start of the day with 949 yards. Now let's go to NFL Live in New York and Bob Costas. Bob?
All right, Don, Pittsburgh still has a shot at a wild card. Here's the way their game at Tampa Bay began. Rod Woodson takes the opening kickoff and rambles 72 yards, sets them up for a touchdown. Tim Worley scored it for the 1. Then Joe Ferguson, the 39-year-old veteran, starting in place of the injured Vinny Testaverde, led Tampa back, flipped a 7-yard touchdown pass to Mark Carrier. They're even at 7 late in the first. Don?
Thanks, Bob. Joe Ferguson used to throw balls to you, didn't he? Back in Buffalo in the early 70s.
Why am I sitting here and he's playing?
Sims overshoots his mark. Firing away on 2nd down and 9. Eddie Anderson was defending Stephen Baker, running an over-the-middle pattern. Raider defense shows a lot of looks. They switch Howie Long all over. Bob Golick has been dropping back more and more in coverage at nose tackle. They go with 4 rushers most of the time. Townsend coming up at the right end. He'll also drop off as a linebacker. Benson's having a great year. Plan B free agent. He'll come out when they go to their dime defense. Rice and Van McElroy come in. 3rd down and 9. Sims takes a look. Fires an out pattern, and it's broken up nicely by Lionel Washington. He thought if nobody was looking, would take it on a one hop and run it in.
That was a very nice throw there by Phil Sims, who had to drill it in there. But a great play by Lionel Washington, who comes over the top, gets his arm inside of there and knocks that ball away. The Giants do not want him to be in a position where it's 3rd and long. Once again, we look at this play. Here comes the ball, and watch Lionel Washington. Just reaches over the top and knocks the ball away. They don't like being in 3rd and long. They're the masters in 3rd and short.
Sean Landeta, who has the best net punting average in the NFL. You see his gross average over 43, but his net is 38-3. He hits a spiral downfield that drives back Stephon Adams to his 32. Breaks a tackle, gets a block. Adams puts it out across to the 45-yard line. So the Raiders, with a 13-yard return off a 44-yard punt, will go on offense in this game that's tied 7-7 with 3:17 to play in the first quarter.
Wouldn't it be great if suddenly you were in charge of the annual swimsuit issue, deciding things like how the models pose and who gets the cover? Wouldn't it be great if the models brought beer? Really great beer, like Keystone, the fresh cold filtered beer in a can that tastes like beer in a bottle because of Keystone's specially lined can. And wouldn't it be great if later that day you all went bowling? Introducing Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
It's big. It's now. It's Pontiac's all-out excitement closeout. Now with our longest-term 4.8% finance rate ever on Grand Prix. That's right. Now every new Grand Prix is available with long-term 4.8% financing. Or get your share of millions in cash back on Grand Prix and almost every other new 1990 Pontiac in stock. But hurry, your Pontiac dealer is closing out the year with big cash back or 4.8% financing on Grand Prix. It won't last long. See your Pontiac excitement dealer now.
If you choose to finance or lease your new GM vehicle someplace other than GMAC, you might find yourself waiting in line instead of out hugging one. GMAC. Nobody wants to get you into your new GM car or truck faster.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by new Keystone and Keystone Light. Bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great? By GMAZ, financial services people from General Motors. And by Pontiac, and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement.
With Ahmad Rashad, this is Don Criqui back at Giant Stadium. Raiders who move right down the field to tie the game at 7 all. Their last possession now start from their 45 after a Giant punt. Bo Jackson, both hands on the ball, breaks it ahead for a gain of 5. as we check the 10-minute ticker on Sunday number 16. Eagles and Phoenix now tied up at 7-all. Miami has taken a 7-0 lead on the Chiefs at Joe Robbie Stadium, and New Orleans continues to lead the Colts. Bucks and the Steelers tied up, and the Packers and the Cowboys are tied in the first quarter. Rams have gone in front of New England. Detroit, my hot club, going for its 5th straight win up on Atlanta. Check of the playbook. Is that Burline?
The masked man.
Train robber. On 2nd and 5, Bo Jackson reverses. Using his great speed, he cuts back inside, and Bo takes it ahead for a Raider first down to the 43-yard line. Giesick, number 63, the left guard, with a big block. A called play that just capitalizes on the breakaway speed of Bo Jackson.
This was a play where they tried to take advantage of the action on Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor tried to get him going the wrong way. He's got that bad ankle, you know, but he stops and actually gets back into the play. Look at this angle he takes on Bo Jackson. That's just a great play by Lawrence Taylor. Great play by Lawrence Taylor.
Raiders were saying they never had a player they thought as fast as Golf, so Bo came in, who weighs 60 pounds more and is faster. Burline, right downfield. It's taken in at the 15-yard line. Mervin Fernandez takes it all the way down to the 15 as Burline makes the play of this game other than the punt return, threading the Giant defense with a 28-yard throw into the wind.
And Mervin Fernandez and Burline hooking up again. Watch Fernandez. He's used to this weather. He played up in Canada for a while. Gets inside Mark Collins. Now, that's a great catch. Great concentration. Watches the ball all the way in. Collins tried to keep him going inside, but he used a nice little move to get up the field, and Burline likes that.
Fernandez likes cold weather. He was the most valuable player in the entire Canadian Football League when he was Vancouver. 1st and 10 Raiders in this tie game. First quarter. Burline into the end zone, going to dial too much on it. Running down, Steve Burline was Carl Banks, number 58. Just after he released the ball, he leveled him. 57 seconds to play in the first quarter.
Carl Banks is just such a steady player. He's not flamboyant or anything like that, but in talking to Terry Robisky, they say there aren't any better linebackers in the league except for the one that's playing on the other side of him, and that's Lawrence Taylor. He's in that same category. It's a very steady, plays at a high level every single game. Terry Robisky, the coach of the Raiders, was saying that he has not seen a tight end block him all year.
Well, I tell you, he was really high in his praise of Carl Banks. He said every down he grades out just about perfect. Here's a pitch back. Marcus Allen takes it right at the defense, cutting back, and he's inside the 15-yard line. On a 2nd down and 10 play, Marcus Allen got about 3. Pepper Johnson, 52, and Carl Banks were on the stop.
Marcus Allen here trying to find a little spot. He swings wide and then tries to cut it back up the middle. And Leonard Marshall, who was maybe one of the best power players on this football team, just powers it down, and Pepper Johnson makes a tackle, but Leonard Marshall is right there.
Marshall closed it down, then Johnson got him, along with Banks. Game clock down to 20 seconds and running. First quarter.
Leonard Marshall is another one of these players on the Giant defense that's underrated by the press, but not by other players in the league.
I thought he should have gone to the Pro Bowl as Giant teammates. 3rd down, Burline, the Raiders need 8. Throw over the middle. Fernandez loses the ball. You can't tell who's got that. 2 guys had a clean shot at it. The Giants think they have it. So does the official. And so the Raider drive is stopped. Myron Guyton comes up with the ball. The rookie strong safety.
Mervin Fernandez, playing with a sore ankle, brings his crossing padding underneath Carl Banks. Makes a nice catch here. Banks is the first one getting. Now watch this. If the ball just gets loose, comes out on the ground, and you see Guyton's the first one there. These are the kind of plays that not only are great plays defensively, but they excite the entire team. Carl Banks is the one who's responsible for causing that fumble. He just tears it out of the hands of Mervin Fernandez. But now the Giant entire team got fired up after that play.
So the turnovers are even, and so is the score.
Heineken.
Amstel Light.
This
so
is
much
it.
better than other
It's a
light
great
beers.
imported beer.
A delicious
Nothing
European
compares
taste,
to the
a
smoothness,
refreshing,
the richness,
satisfying,
or the character
distinctive
of a
flavor
Heineken.
that cuts through
Its
your
quality
thirst.
comes through.
There's a
every
uniqueness
time.
to it.
Heineken is America's #1 selling imported beer. Amstel Light is America's #1 selling imported light beer. Why? Just ask the people who drink them.
If you ask me, Amstel Light is the best beer there is. I could go on and say enough about it. It's a light beer. No matter how many beers you're thirsty.
Freedom to say and think what we believe is ensured by this document. Join us in supporting the National Archives celebration of the 200th anniversary of the Bill of Rights.
Listen to what they're saying about the Hyundai Sonata. The Hyundai Sonata is one of the most powerful cars in its class, road and track. Interior room and trunk space are outstanding. Motor Trend. The Sonata has a lot to recommend it. Car and driver. Power, room, value. No wonder the competition's green with envy. The Hyundai Sonata. We're making more sense than ever. Right now, factory-to-dealer incentives can save you hundreds on a new 1990 Sonata.
New Year's Day, come home to the best in college football and a rematch of the thrilling 1988 Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. The 5th-ranked Florida State Seminoles battle the Cornhuskers of number 6 Nebraska. The Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. New Year's Day, the best bowls are on NBC Sports.
7-7 as we start the second quarter. Giants open the scoring with a 76-yard punt return by rookie Dave Neggett. Raiders scored on a Burline to Horton pass from just a yard out. Sims is 0 for 2 throwing, and this one he grounds. No flag. There was nobody eligible near that ball. Harthon was maybe in a distant proximity, but it goes as an all right throw. Not intentional grounding, an expensive penalty with loss of down 90. Mike Wise put the heat on. For the Raiders to get in as a wild card team, this must happen today. The Colts must lose, and the moment they're behind at New Orleans, 3-0 at last report. The Bengals must lose. They'll go against the Vikings at the Metrodome tomorrow night. Of course, the Raiders must win today. Otis Anderson cut down in the backfield. Scott Davis, number 70, a number 1 draft choice 2 years ago out of Illinois, a reckless player, much in Raider mold. Collared him, knocked him down. Anderson doesn't have breakaway speed. George Young, the general manager of the Giants, likened to a pitcher that's lost something off his fastball, Otis Anderson, but he's found some new pitches. Not there.
Scott Davis just with a very quick move off the ball, able to get back in that backfield and make the play. This Raider front line is really, really improved with Howie Long back to the Howie Long of old.
He makes everybody around him better. Howie Long going back to the Pro Bowl out of the shotgun. Sims takes a look. He's got problems and he's down. Mike Wise gets him. The Raiders coming on strong after they were stunned early in the game with that punt return. Scott Davis gets through again, this time for the sack, and the Giants will have to punt it from their end zone. It'll be a short snap. They don't have the 15 they want to snap the ball to Landetta.
While they try to double team Howie Long on the right side of your screen, watch the left side of your screen. Here comes Davis right there.
Sean Landetta steps into the ball, gets it away downfield. Raiders will get very good field position. Stephon Adams runs it back inside the 30, and he's out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. So the Raiders get the ball when we come back, and they'll be in position to score on a field goal if they can't move the ball. They're starting out inside the Giant 25-yard line.
This Raider team, it's like night and day to watch this team now as opposed to last year. I mean, the way you bring the mystique back that the Raiders have had for so long is to win football games. And that's what the Raiders have started doing again. I mean, they used to, last year they kind of just threw their jerseys out there and said, hey, we're the Raiders. Well, this is the real Raider team. They are competitive once again with players like Scott Davis.
He's really been competitive today. Davis dominating the tackle across from him. Now the Raiders go 1st and 10 inside the Giant 25. Long looking deep. End zone ball. It's quacking as it floats down, and it's almost caught somehow at the 6-yard line. Fernandez had a play on the ball. Pepper Johnson decked Steve Erline. Do you think he just has, might just be the wind knocked out of him? $1,000 for a breath of air.
That's about right down
to his stomach.
Yeah, I think that's what happened, but he just got leveled by Pepper Johnson. And it was a fine job of Berline trying to hold this ball to wait for his receiver to get open. He's holding the ball, still trying to find a receiver. And here comes Pepper Johnson. Just as he lets it go, he gets leveled That's the price you pay playing quarterback. You got to wait for your receiver to get open. He sees this guy coming at him right down the middle. He just has to be courageous enough to stand in there and deliver the ball at the last minute. Almost gets a completion.
Burline up and appears to be all right. The Raiders will be going for Sims. You go for theirs. They're going to get yours.
Enemy on the open. Moving up on your right, Bravo 2. Fire!
I'm 30 miles from the action, but I'm responsible for a digital communication link between headquarters and brigade.
Enemy tank, checkpoint 1.
If the data isn't programmed right, 5,000 troops could be cut off.
Enemy forces together.
But I'd never let that happen to my brigade.
Op 4 is eliminated.
Be all that you can be. You did it, sir.
Outstanding.
Get an edge on life in the Army.
If you feel life's more interesting when you make a splash,
it's the right beer now.
if you feel a great beer starts with great water,
It's the right beer now.
because you're the kind of person who likes to get to the bottom of things, call for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
NBC Sports serves your need to know all week long. Dial 1-900-454-3500 for NBC Scores Plus. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the USA.
13:50 to go in the land of the Giants at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey. The Raiders have the ball with Jay Schrader now in at quarterback. Erline playing exceptionally well, knocked out of the game, but he'll be right back in, I think. Just had the wind knocked out of him. Schrader pitches back. Steve Smith cuts back. Takes on tacklers and gets inside the 20 for a gain of about 4 on the play. Again, 52, Pepper Johnson, the linebacker from Ohio State, made the stop. And here's Steve Burline coming right back in. Raiders are 4-2 this season with Burline as a starter. He's thrown 12 touchdowns and 7 interceptions and came in with a quarterback rating over 80.
A team leader, Steve Burline. All the guys have a lot of confidence in him. And you saw that last play that he got the wind knocked out of him. He definitely has what it takes to be star in the National Football League, and that's courage.
He showed that, standing in to take the hit. Third down, a long 6. Here's the blitz. They pick up Guyton. Guyton's coming. Here's the throw downfield, and he makes the connection to Fernandez. There's a penalty marker down in the Raider backfield. Holding is signaled against the Raiders. The play comes back. Guyton coming on a strong safety blitz might have been held as he was about to get to Burline.
Steve Burline showing
Holding. 10-yard penalty. Replay the third down.
the hold was on Bruce Wilkerson, number 68. On the right-hand side of your screen, right there in the middle of the screen, number 68. There's the hold right there. He's got both arms out. Sort of a battle right here. And he just has his hand right up on Leonard Marshall's side, and that's when the flag comes out. But Burline showed he was on the run and threw that ball about 35, 40 yards.
The loss in that play takes them out of field goal range. The ball back to the 30. As you see, 3rd and 17. Game tied early in the second quarter, 7-7. Home run ball into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders to Mervyn Fernandez. Burline threading it in these Arctic conditions with a strike to Fernandez for the touchdown. 9th TD catch of the year for Fernandez as the Giant on the sidelines cracks a smile.
And this Giant on the other side has no smiles available right now. But swerving Mervyn Fernandez uses his size right now. He's 6'3", a huge receiver. Gets by the defender on the line of scrimmage. Now watch how smooth he is once he goes for this ball. No hitch in his step at all. Gets right by Sheldon White, number 39. Easy. That's another little pitch and catch. Swerving Mervyn Fernandez.
So Burline with 2 TD throws in the first half. Jager with a second extra point. And the Raiders, who look like they may get KO'd early in this game when they fell behind 7-0, the first time a Giant touched the ball, now have taken a 14-7 lead.
Announcing a new generation of owner satisfaction. We're so sure you'll love your new Oldsmobile, we'll let you return it within 30 days or 1,500 miles if you don't. Who else does that? Unlike some warranties, Oldsmobiles covers just one part. This is the part. Oldsmobile now offers roadside assistance around the clock, even in places where there aren't any clocks. The Oldsmobile Edge, there's nothing else like it.
Hey, hustlers! I got some more party time tips for you from Extra Gold Draft. First, never party with anything less than the full tilt taste of Extra Gold. Hey, this is one tough beer. Another tip, never shoot pool with a guy that brings his own stick. And never ever shoot with a guy that brings his own table.
Ask for an extra. Go for the full tilt taste.
Nice shot. Thanks.
Happy holidays from all of us at Angel Soft and Georgia Pacific.
Interstate Battery Power starts up strong and keeps on going. To find an Interstate Battery dealer near you,
Call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
The city government is being run by thugs who leave murder in their path.
Don't worry, I'll handle that.
You're being pursued by an alien nation, and the only way to go is down.
Don't worry, I'll handle that.
You've got to save America's future, and we're giving you two gorgeous girls to do it with.
Don't worry, I'll...
Chameleons is coming Friday.
Al Davis looking on, well pleased. Looked like Santa off to his left there on the right side of the screen, but that's Al Locasell.
It's sort of good to watch Al Davis smile. You know, the last few years he hadn't been smiling a whole bunch, but he has turned it all around, and he has reason to smile now.
Raiders haven't been to the playoffs since '85. Very un-Raider-like. Here's Mark Ingram, former #1 from Michigan State, stuck inside the 15-yard line. Dan Land, number 25, came down and got him.
This is just called a go route because Fernandez just goes down the field. It's just you match Fernandez with Sheldon White, and that's what the Raiders like to do. They like to find a mismatch, and whenever they can find that mismatch, get the ball there, they figure they're going to get a big play. And
Fernandez not only can catch it, he can knock you down. He's a tough guy, looks for people to run into when he catches the ball.
And came in here with a bad ankle down. Only able to practice one day last week.
Now the Giants go back on offense, 1st and 10. Sims could do nothing his last possession. Cut down by Wise on that sack and then by Davis. Anderson on a trap block takes it up the middle. Good for a gain of about 6 yards. Now we have a minute. We go back to NFL Live. Bob?
All right, Don, not nearly as cold in Miami as at the Meadowlands, but they're not used to 39 degrees at Joe Robb Stadium. Dolphins take the early lead. Marino to Jim Jensen. That one covered 4 yards. But then Steve DeBerg comes back, hits Stephon Page, who takes a couple of licks at the goal line, but tumbles in. Pair of wild card aspirants. Each has slim hopes. Tied at 7 in the second. Don?
And here we go to live action at Giant Stadium, where the Giants go to Maurice Carthon, who takes it to the 25-yard line on a 2nd down and long 3 play. Bob Golick, the veteran nose tackle, made the stop, number 79.
This is what the Giants like. They love to be in this situation of 3rd and short. They are the masters in this league of 3rd and short because the way they run that football, they figure they can always get 2 or 3 yards at any time.
3rd and short it is. They need just about a yard. High set. Otis Anderson is the I-back, the deep back. He gets the ball. He gets the 1st down for New York as he's out to the 27-yard line, knocked down by Raider cornerback Terry McDaniel. The Eagles and the Cardinals still tied 7-all at Philadelphia. Kansas City and Miami still on a tie. New Orleans now is tied up by Indianapolis. Colts got a field goal. And here at Giant Stadium with 11 minutes to play in the first half, the Raiders lead the Giants 14-7. Raiders, after falling behind 7-0 on a punt return, get 2 TD throws from Berline. Sims has it slapped right back at him, very nearly taken by Howie Long.
Scott Davis continuing to put pressure on Don. Not able to get to the quarterback, but gets those arms up and knocks that ball away. Watch Scott Davis, number 70, right there, the right part of your screen. Can't get any pressure on the quarterback. Now watch his arms go up. He just knocks that ball away. Cold day like this, I bet that hurt.
Sims not having the luck. Berline is throwing the ball.
No, 0 for 4 on the day. Yet to have a completion.
2nd and 10 for Sims and the Giants. Carthon. Not much. Giant fans now express their displeasure at some very conservative play calling, but Sims has been able to hit the ball downfield with the throw. Mike Wise, number 90, was on the stop for Los Angeles. People wonder what kind of a person Big Art Shell is. It's a gentle giant, really. Delight to be around, very soft spoken. You never think he was the dominating player he was.
Unless you ever played against him.
That's right.
Because as gentle as he is off the field, he was a tiger on it.
Demanded perfection from himself and everybody around him. Hall of Fame player. 3rd and 9. Sims picks it up and throws to Meggett, and he leans ahead for what appears to be a first down for the Giants. So Sims from the shotgun gets it downfield, and Meggett makes the play.
The player that the Raiders fear most on this Giant offensive team is Dave Meggett, because his ability to come in as a receiver. You see him on the left side of your screen, just kind of a bad snap. The ball bounces right up to Sims, but it gives Meggett time to work. You won't see very many defenders close to Meggett anytime he makes a reception because he is so elusive. Once again, now, a football can bounce many ways. Here it bounces right up to Sims, gives him a little bit of time, and he fires the ball straight. Dave Meggett. Jerry Robinson just said he didn't know if he was going to sleep last night because he's going to have to cover this guy.
Right now, he's going to have to cover him again. Here's a long ball downfield. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, can't get to the ball. Down to the 15-yard line as Sims, a strong armer out of Moorhead State. And they announced his name in the '79 draft as the Giants' #1 pick across the river in New York. The Giant draftniks booed loudly, but he might be the best quarterback in the history of this franchise, right? Beyond Tittle and beyond Connerly.
Not many boos when he won that Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And I was talking to Stephen Baker yesterday. He came over and said, man, you played in that cold weather. How do you keep your hands warm? I said, you don't. You just catch with frozen hands.
Well, we saw him at practice yesterday. He said, I'm from L.A. He said, I know the Raiders can't handle this because I can't. I'm living in it. So far they have. Sims on 2nd and 10. Gets time, swings it out, and Carthon makes a play. He's ahead for a gain of about 8 yards. Jerry Robinson ran him down, number 57. As Sims is now starting to look over all his receivers. Nothing open deep, so he swings it out to Carthon.
Phil Sims, this Giant team has a very deliberate pass attack, just like their running game. He finds Carthon coming out of the backfield wide open. Jerry Robinson makes the stop.
Sims now 2 for 7 for 17 yards throwing the ball.
Maurice Carthon, a big, strong power back, also has excellent hands coming out of the backfield.
The underdog Raiders in the lead, 14-7, second quarter. Carthon, not much, but he didn't need much. He'll be close to a first down. Linesman comes in. The spot might be just short to bring up 4th and less than a yard if it is. Mike Wise, number 90, close from a defensive end position to make the tackle. Game clock stopped on the official timeout with 8:22 to play. First half.
Short yardage for these Giants. I've never heard a team talk about how confident they get when they get in a short yardage situation. That's when football is broken down to its basic elements. Just fire out and hit the guy in front of you.
Get low, huh?
Yeah, and they feel like they do that as well as anybody. That's that root hog football.
Root hog football, but Burline play faked into it and then threw to Horton for the first touchdown for Los Angeles. Then he hit Fernandez with a throw down the sideline for the second. And it will be just short. So that brings up 4th down. As Al Davis looks on, Bill Parcells makes his decision. He's keeping his offense out there.
And he makes it very confidently, Don. It's not a situation like maybe we can get the first down. They've been in this situation a lot of times in the course of the season. And when they break this huddle and come to the line of scrimmage, they know they're going to get a first down. That's the confidence that they have.
Anderson's been their money back, number 24. Moat leads the blocking. Carthon gets the ball. Woo! Boy, if he got us by the nose of the football. The spot is everything.
Championship football team, when you're thinking about going to the playoffs, trying to make it to the Super Bowl, on a 4th and 1 like this in the middle of the field, you got to go for it.
Raiders, as Parcells was pointing out to us, a very difficult team to run wide against. You really got to take it right at them. And here come the markers out again. And they will tell a big story when they're planted down. It's either a first down for the Giants or the Raiders, an underdog leading by 7, will take over the ball.
A lot of times in short yardage situation, Don, on a championship team if you don't go for it. It almost punks off your linemen.
First down, Giants.
Another look, just a root hog play. Everybody just firing straight ahead. Scott Davis makes a very good come off the ball just to stand up the offensive lineman. Not good enough to keep him from getting the first down.
Sims, like Berline, plays with gloves on. On first down and 10, a deep drop. Over the middle throw, open is Cross, the tight end, and the rookie from Alabama comes down with the ball at the 25-yard line. So Howard Cross, who has stood out as a rookie blocker in the absence of Bavaro, who's still injured, makes a big catch, good for 27 yards.
Howard Cross just showing that he's really coming around. I talked to Phil Sims about Howard Cross before the game. He said he's an excellent blocker, and he just hasn't caught enough passes to become comfortable, but he is going to be a great player. And here you see Sims has a lot of confidence in him because he fires right to him. When they have Bavaro in the game, they don't hesitate to go to that tight end, and they haven't hesitated with Cross in.
A career catch as a pro for Howard Cross. It was his first one as a Giant. On first down, Sims looks down again over the middle. Here's an open man. Moat, the tight end. He's down to the goal line. Not in, but it's first and goal Giants. As all of a sudden, Phil Sims, who could not make the connections in the wind, starts to zone in on his receivers, and the Giants are point blank to tie this game.
They like to go to that tight end. They take those wide receivers and run them down the middle of the field and try to isolate that tight end. You see Jerry Robinson, number 57, dropping back in coverage. But on the other side of the field, there's Zeke Moat. Great possession catch.
Up the middle and in goes Otis Anderson. Anderson with his 13th touchdown of the season, and the Giants, who came in as a favorite, are now an extra point away from tying the game at 14-all.
Otis Anderson, the Plan C free agent. Nobody wanted me but
only
me.
Otis. Extra point is up and good, and with 6:08 to play in the first half, the Giants and the Raiders are locked up at 14.
If you don't want to slow down on your way to the top,
It's the right beer now.
because you know to make a beer as refreshing as a mountain stream, you've got to start with a mountain stream.
It's the right beer now.
When a night on the town might last all night, call for the taste preferred at better night spots. The Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
It's the right beer now. You want a deal? Well, here comes the deal.
Now get low 4.8 APR financing for up to 48 months on all new Cutlass Supremes.
This deal is not just another deal.
It's Oldsmobile's new generation celebration. We've made it possible for our dealers to pass along millions of dollars to their customers on all other models. Hurry, these deals won't last forever.
This is the deal of a new generation. Oldsmobile.
Made up my mind. I'm gonna do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. By United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. And by Coors Light. You're brewed in the Rockies, the Silver Bullet won't slow you down. It's the right beer now.
With Ahmad Rashad, this is Don Criqui back at Giant Stadium. 6:08 to play in the first half. And the Giants have just tied the game on Otis Anderson's 13th touchdown of the season. Free ball. Picked up by Stephon Adams, and then he is blasted. Guyton, 29, an impact tackler, almost freed the ball. We've had a turnover each way, and there will be more on this bitter cold day.
On the touchdown, watch number 61, Bob Cratch, on this block here with Bill Piquel. He just nails it down, and then Otis Anderson finds the spot. There's the block. Anderson finds that crack and hits into the end zone.
Very difficult to handicap the wind here. Streamers atop the goalpost uprights are pretty much not affected by wind, but it swirls higher up. Chill factor way below zero. Steve Smith, big back, takes it ahead, gets it across the 20-yard line. John Forcade's thrown for a touchdown in New Orleans to Eric Martin, and the Saints now lead the Colts 10-3.
On the tackle.
And the Eagles up on the Cardinals 14-7. Second down and 5 rises now for the Los Angeles Raiders as the super fast Willie Galt comes wide left to the bottom of your screen, averaging just under 26 yards a catch. Burline looking to buy time, and he finally throws it away. Fernandez tried to come back at the ball, but Burline did well to escape a sack there, Ahmad.
Certainly did. He showed that his mobility is so well because they had him trapped. He retreated back and then almost got a chance to find Mervin Fernandez. Now you see Lawrence Taylor. You will never see Lawrence Taylor going against one guy. Right now he's going against one, but wait. Here comes the other guy, and they bent him backwards. Lawrence is used to getting this kind of attention, and a lot of times 2 guys are not enough.
And he sees 2 guys about every down. Burline with some exceptional throwing numbers on this tough day to throw.
8 for 12, 101 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
They're down. The Raiders need 5. Barry Williams with some good D. Leonard Marshall with a big rush. There's a penalty marker down.
Perry Williams appeared to go right over the top of the receiver.
Marker down in the Giants secondary on a 3rd and 5 play. Alexander thinks it's going the Raiders' way, and it is, as Gene Barth gives the interference call against New York. Bill Parcells said, when we don't turn it over, we win. When we turn it over, we lose.
Interference, defense, first down.
Pass interference. It appears that number 23, Perry Williams, goes right over the top of Mervin Fernandez. Watch 23, Perry Williams. Ball's on its way. That left arm up there grabs on his shoulder, and he just flips over the top. That is pass interference every time. And Mervin says yes.
So the Raiders get a first down. The ball is positioned now at their 33-yard line. Playing more and more for Bo Jackson in this game. Marcus in the backfield with Steve Smith. Marcus lead blocker. Smith takes a hit and keeps on going. Leonard Marshall put a head-on shot on him. And Smith, a 235-pound back in his 3rd year from Penn State, shot ahead for a gain on the play of about 4 yards.
Anybody that has watched the Raiders over the years, when you watch that number 35, you think of Hewitt Dixon. And he runs a lot like Hewitt Dixon. Very powerful running back.
Raiders got him in the 3rd round. Quarterback Burline came in the 4th round. He was Notre Dame's all-time passing leader when he left there. Today Montana was a late 3rd round choice. Burline seems to rally the team more than Schrader. Here's Bo in there, and Bo breaks it. Picking on tacklers. Jackson's ahead for a Raider first down. Coming up to make the tackle on the play, one of the safeties, Myron Guyton.
Bo Jackson has so much explosion. He has turbo speed. He can be going at 1,000 miles an hour on his 2nd or 3rd step. So a lot of times you think you got the guy stopped. You have a little crack. He gets there in a hurry. He helps everybody. With this kind of speed, you don't have to stay on your block very long. And Bo won't hesitate to try to run over you, too.
Hard to believe that Bo was a 7th round draft choice of the Raiders. He was the first pick in the draft by Tampa Bay. Said he wouldn't play there. Sat out the year. Burline picks it up. Broken play. On first down, he did well just to save possession of the ball. It'll be 2nd down and about 14. Jackson came to the Raiders in '86. talk that the Royals are trying to lure him with a 5-year contract for $20 million to play baseball exclusively. But as Al Davis said on NFL Live, he expects him to play both.
The thing that was interesting about what Al Davis said is, why not play both for maybe $10 million a year? You know what I mean? The sky's the limit when you talk about how much money this guy ought to make as an athlete.
Thing about Jackson, he can carry it for 1 yard, 2 yards, no yards, and bang, 90 yards. He can take it in from anywhere on the field. Every time he touches it, here's the sack. Lawrence Taylor comes up with the top. And Berline is down again. Lawrence Taylor with the second sack of the game.
As you start to play this game, you start to get a feel for Lawrence Taylor. And if in the past you had a certain amount of time to throw the ball, if Lawrence Taylor's on the field, take 2 seconds off of it, because you will not have that time. You see Berline, he was in the pocket there. Lawrence Taylor just ran through everybody. Lawrence Taylor is blocked right now, but look at Lawrence, just a bull move where he just runs number 66, Rory Graves, right back into the quarterback.
Joe Gibbs of Washington, who's had the best game plans offensively against the Giants perhaps over the years since Taylor's been here. Every single down has him at least double teamed. Downfield throw, open man, and Mike Alexander comes down with the ball at the 30-yard line. So Berline takes a beat and gets up and pops a downfield throw, good for 34 yards, down to the Giant 31-yard line.
And this is what the Raiders of old used to do. Just when you think you had them stopped, all of a sudden they'd get a guy like Alexander that gets free. But this pass is threaded right through 3 people, and a very nice catch by Mike Alexander. The Raiders always put the fear that at some time or other somebody's going to make a big play. And when we talked to Parcells the other day, he said they've got so many... 2-minute warning, that they've got so many big play players that it's got to worry you. They've got Jackson, Galt, Fernandez, Allen, and Alexander.
We'll be back to Giant Stadium after this.
I got a phone call this morning from one of our oldest customers. He fired us. After 20 years, he fired us. Said he didn't know us anymore. I think I know why. We used to do business with a handshake, face to face. Now it's a phone call and a fax. Get back to you later with another fax, probably. Well, folks, some things got to change. That's why we're going to set out for a little face-to-face chat with every customer we have.
But Ben, that's got to go over 200 cities.
I don't care.
If you're the kind of business that still believes personal service deserves a lot more than lip service, welcome to United.
Larry. Lewis.
That's the way we've been doing business for over 60 years.
Ben, where are you going? To visit that old friend who fired us this morning.
United. Come fly the friendly skies.
Once, there were a few proud men of adventure, men of courage, men who knew the meaning of honor. There still are, the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
Speculation continues. Where will the Raiders play should they leave the Coliseum in Los Angeles? On NFL Live today, Al Davis told Bob Costas that they need an intimate stadium where the crowd noise can affect play. Sam Weich talked about the 61-7 route over the Oilers affecting last night's game when Houston was beaten by Cleveland. Bobby Bethard says the Cowboys are about to dismantle their current scouting system. Jimmy Johnson will be ahead of all personnel. We're going to NFL Live at halftime as with 2 minutes left to play in the first half. A tie game and the Raiders have the ball 1st and 10, and there goes Bo down to the 25. Jackson, off-tackle slant, just exceptional speed. And now, while we have a moment, back to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
One simple thing in all the complex wildcard possibilities, Don. All the other wildcard contenders need Indianapolis to lose in the AFC, and losing they are after Eric Martin makes this touchdown catch on the pass from John Fourcade late in the second quarter. 10-3 Saints. Isn't Ahmad glad that he's out in the field now so he doesn't have to be in that goofy NFL Live picture?
That's suitable for framing photo.
That's right, Bob. Our pass on that one. Did you guys send that out for Christmas? Is that a Christmas card?
Here's a handoff. It goes to Smith. He loses the ball, and the Giants have it. Pepper Johnson comes up with the ball. Raiders arguing that the ground caused the fumble. I'm sure we'll take another look at this on review. Gary Reasons looked like the guy knocked it free, and Pepper Johnson, 52, came up with it.
At the top of the game, I said that the toughest thing to do in cold weather is to hang on to the football. Here you see Smith coming over. Reasons the first one to get there and rips the ball out, but it looked like his knee may have been down. Looked like his right knee was down when that ball came out. Here's another look. Now watch Steve Smith as he comes. Watch his lefty. Left knee appeared to be, once again, watch his left knee. Reason with his hands on the ball. Left knee is down, and now the ball comes out.
All right. So the review is on, and a most important one. Pepper Johnson may have had a fumble recovery, but as you point out, Ahmad, the knee was down when the ball came out.
Strangely enough, you see the Giants' offensive team is on the field. The Raiders' defensive team out there. I don't know if that's a concession or not.
Let's watch it again.
Watch Smith left knee. You see Reason's right arm on the ball now. Watch his left knee. His left knee is down. The ball still has the ball. Now the ball comes out.
Game clock down to 1:11 to play in the first half.
We have a reversal. The runner was down by contact. It's still a Raiders ball.
Ahmad, you do it all up here.
I'm telling you, it's all-star, huh?
That was right, though. He's down as soon as that knee's down if he's in possession. So the Raiders send back out their offense with 71 ticks of the clock remaining in the first half. High game on a bitter cold day.
And a very big reversal here, Don. They were moving down very easily down the field trying to get down in scoring position. Had they lost that ball, that would have been a very big play right there.
Wind chill was -7 at kickoff. It's below that now.
Steve Berline asking for time.
Berline, who's having a sensational day, comes to the sideline. He'll be ready to run the offense in a moment.
Announcing a new generation of owner satisfaction. We're so sure you'll love your new Oldsmobile, we'll let you return it within 30 days or 1,500 miles if you don't. Who else does that? Unlike some warranties, Oldsmobiles covers just one part. This is the part. Oldsmobile now offers roadside assistance around the clock, even in places where there aren't any clocks. The Oldsmobile Edge, there's nothing else like it.
The network. It's the most powerful tool in business today. At GTE, we can put that power in your hands. The power of a personalized communications network designed for the success of your business alone. The growth of your business, the prosperity of your business. We've done it for others. We'll do it for you. Because at GTE, the power is on.
This December, things are really heating up. Heating up at every GM division. Each dealer is out to make December hotter than ever before. Deals like 4.8% APR GMAC financing for 48 months or cash back up to $750 on the roomy new sedan and sport coupe, the Chevrolet Lumina. Yes, this December is incredibly hot at every GM division. It's GM's hot December. Come feel the heat.
Come home to the best in college football as Auburn battles Ohio State in the Hall of Fame Bowl. Then number 5 Florida State takes on 6th-ranked Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl. And a game that will determine the national championship as number 1 Colorado battles 4th-ranked Notre Dame at the Orange Bowl. New Year's Day, the best bowls are on NBC.
The 10-minute ticker tells the story on this final Sunday of play. Raiders need the Colts to lose, and they're losing at New Orleans right now, 10-6. Third down, Berline and the Raiders need 4 in this tie game at Giant Stadium. Home run ball. Too much on it. They're trying to hit the streaking Willie Gault. Gary Kennard, the free safety, running with him stride for stride. Jaeger, the field goal kicker, comes out. He has not been effective long. He's only made 5 of 13 outside the 40 this year. A second-year kicker from the University of Washington. Reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game.
I talked to Bart Oates before the game. He said one of the toughest things to do in this weather with the wind blowing is snap on a kick.
He was out here early doing it.
This will be very important to see if Mosbar can get the snap back.
Tough to hold, too. Verline does that. Kicks on the way. And he hits it. Jaeger rips a 43-yard field goal with 1 minute and 2 seconds to play in the first half. And the Raiders have broken the tie and taken a 17-14 lead. Raiders came in the local papers as a full touchdown underdog. They'd not played the Giants since '86 when New York won at the LA Coliseum 14-9.
They played themselves into such a position last week and then went and lost that game to Seattle. I talked to Art Shell about that, and Art said, you know, as a Raider team, we seem to always have to do things hard way.
Kick off the new year in style with NBC's Championship Monday College Bowl lineup. The excitement begins with the Hall of Fame Bowl. The powerful Auburn Tigers, the team that beat Alabama, take on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Then the high-scoring Florida State Seminoles go against the Cornhuskers of Nebraska in the Fiesta Bowl. Followed by the game which will determine the national championship. It's the Orange Bowl as the #1 ranked and undefeated Colorado Buffaloes take on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Get ready for the best bowl lineup of the season. Championship Monday, New Year's Day on NBC Sports. It was a sunny day at the outset. Now it's cloudy, overcast. George planned his club record for the season. 23 field goals as Jaeger just hit a 43-yarder to give the Raiders the lead. Meggett, who ran back to punt 76 yards, on the way again. And Meggett is finally taken down by the last line of defense for the Raiders, but he crossed midfield. Jeff Jaeger, the kickoff man, was one of the guys that got him.
Dave Meggett is out to show Art Shell and the rest of this crowd he deserves to be in that Pro Bowl. There is no finer feeling for an athlete to be named at Pro Bowl, have a game that week, and be able to go out and show everybody this is why everybody voted me as the best kickoff return man in the league. Dave Meggett, very strong, powerful runner that keeps his feet. And now watch him cover up the ball here to make sure that he doesn't have a turnover. He put both hands on the ball right there.
Giants felt that Denver win was one of the keys to their season when they beat the Broncos at Mile High. And Meggett, you remember, had the 57-yard run after a pass from Sims. Here's Phil Sims on the run. Markers are down as Phil Sims isn't done. Hitches it back to Stacy Robinson. But it could all come back. There's a marker down at the line of scrimmage.
I think Brian Williams was holding on that play.
So does Gene Barth, the referee. So it comes back with 43 seconds to play, first half.
One of the few times.
Holding 59 offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
59, Brian Williams holding on that play. And the reason I knew it was him was as soon as that flag hit the ground, he went and started complaining to the official. That's one of the few times that you'll see offense lateral the ball back. Usually it's a defense. Now there's Williams under 59, man-to-man. It gets caught. It gets his hand caught up in Howie Long's face mask. That's not only holding, but it's face mask.
Perfect takedown, but it negates a big play for the Giants. And now the down goes back to first, but it's 20 for the first down. Shotgun set, 3 wide receivers in the game. Extra maximum protection for Sims, who throws it downfield to Meggett. And the Raiders catch him and just in time because Meggett had an open track. Had not the big linebacker defensive end Greg Townsend, he alternates at both, caught Meggett from behind. Giants call timeout. As you see, 32 seconds left for Parcells' team in the first half.
And the temperature's dropping here, Don. Phil Sims started the game with no gloves. Now he's got one glove on his left hand, and he keeps his right hand free. I guess that's so he still has touch on the ball, but he's certainly covering up that left hand. As you see, the Raiders and the Giants both with 2 timeouts left.
One year the Raiders played the Jets in the AFC Championship game at Shea Stadium back in '68. The season the Jets went on to win the Super Bowl. Al Davis sent in a construction crew at 5 o'clock in the morning in the dark at night. They built a lean-to hut around the Raider bench. He had called the Army's Arctic Command to find out the best materials to use. When Weeb Eubank came in and walked on the field when daybreak came, they thought Weeb was going to have the big one there. Commissioner Milt Woodard made the Raiders take it down.
Either that or build one on the other side.
Whoops. Golick leaves early.
Defense, number 79. Encroaching. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
When did I think when I was playing, they called this to just plain call this offside. You see Bob Golick just getting a jump there on the ball. The ball didn't even move. But when did it go from offsides to encroachment? You
Still
know
the same 5 yards.
Same 5 yards. Sounds better though, I guess.
32 seconds to play in the first half. Raiders 17, Giants 14. Sims letting it rip. Going deep. Lionel Manuel. Coverage is good by Lionel Walkingen. Long out. Giants and Raiders each with 2 timeouts left. Parcells was as intense this week getting ready for this game. He thought it's absolutely critical to get to the Super Bowl that this has to be won.
You've got to go into the playoffs on the fly, and that's what Parcells knows. You don't want to back in. You don't want to go into the playoffs off of a loss. You want to keep getting better as you get closer to the tournament, and that's what Parcells is looking for his team to do. Great coaching job. I agree with O.J. Simpson, as he said in the pregame show. Parcells has done a great coaching job this year.
He says Upton kind of hangs around, stays in the game, and then we finally pull it out. Now here's a throw. It's completed to Lionel Manuel. He fakes the fly, goes to the slant, and the Giants call a timeout with 17 seconds to play. The Giants' regular field goal kicker, Raul Alegre, has been out for an extended period of time with a badly pulled muscle in his thigh. Bjorn Nitmo came off their developmental squad, and he's been good. He's the guy that'll try the field goal if that's what needs to be done before halftime.
Lionel Manuel with a quick underneath move. Nice possession catch right there. But Don, as you were speaking about Bjorn Nitmo, I talked to him, and he has a real even keel guy for a kicker. You know, he says, I just go out there in that funny looking ball and I just kick it. I don't think he's a guy that gets nervous or he doesn't realize how much is hinging on his field goal attempts. He just goes out and kicks the ball. And Parcells says we haven't lost much with him.
Grew up near Natsvilander, he was saying, in Sweden.
That's right. He said, you know, this weather doesn't bother me. He said, in Sweden, we play soccer in this weather in shorts.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Ron Earhart, the Giants offensive coordinator, said everything's relative. Some pals of his, he's from Fargo, North Dakota, who called him from the Fargo Elks Club the other night. Said it was minus 78 there, so they were staying inside to have their fun. First down and 10 for the Giants with 17 seconds to play. Long ball, man-on-man race. Stephen Baker dives for the ball, and a marker goes down. Terry McDaniel, the Raiders' best cover man, number 36, is going to be flagged for a pushing foul. And with 12 seconds to go, the Giants will have it first and goal.
There was contact at least 20 yards of that pattern. They were bumping each other back and forth. And Terry McDaniel, I thought, should have tried to find out where the ball was before he made a play for it. The ball was not catchable.
Defensive pass interference. Touchdown.
We'll be watching this again. 17-14 Raiders, but that could change in a moment.
Right now. You see Stephen Baker. Now watch McDaniel bumping him in the back. They're bumping back and forth.
Didn't look too bad, though, did it?
No, but as they were going, they were sort of bumping into each other. McDaniel had a funny position to where his back was turned to the receiver, and they're just elbowing each other all the way down the field. That's a big play. Huge play.
One turnover each way. Interference call against Art Shell's Raiders. Positions the ball at the 11-yard line. Giants set up with Manuel wide right. Sims calls for quiet. Doesn't get a whole lot of it, but enough to call the snap count. Into the end zone, and nobody's open, so Sims throws it towards row A. 6 seconds left. Will they try another play, then go for the field goal? Tough call.
6 seconds is a long time. But they are going to take this 6 seconds and bring in the man who was Bjorn to kick. Bjorn Nitmo.
Personal favorite of David Letterman's. He talks about him every night, somebody was saying. Hostetler, the holder. Hold will be at the 18-yard line. Makes it a 28-yard field goal. Bjorn Nitmo delivers, and the game is tied again with 2 seconds to play in the first half. So the pass interference call against Terry McDaniel, the Raiders, leads to the tying field goal, 17-17. Looks like it'll be a standoff through the first 2 quarters. At halftime, we'll be going to Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, Bobby Beathard, Ralph Wiley at NFL Live for an update on Sunday number 16, when it all will be decided. Well, actually, we have to go to tomorrow night's game, too, don't we, Ahmad?
It's going all the way down to the wire. And even a game like this, there are no free seconds. You know, with 40 seconds, we figured it was almost halftime, but no, they play it right down to the end.
Art Shell's Raiders tied up with 2 seconds to play in the first half. New Orleans and the Colts have gone to halftime with the Saints in the lead, 10-6. Kansas City and Miami both playoff contenders for wild cards. Pittsburgh still has a chance depending on the outcome of other games. Rams up on New England at halftime. Rams will be a wild card. If the Giants don't win this, there's a strong probability the Giants would have to play the Rams next weekend at Anaheim. Well, the Giants suffered their worst defeat of the season. They were beaten badly out there by the Rams. They don't want to go back. The Giants win today's game. They're assured of winning the division and being at home in 2 weeks for a divisional playoff game. Squid kick downfield. Dan Turk falls on it at the 39-yard line. 1 second left. Raiders want to play now. People start up after the tackle, and the penalty marker goes down. Scoreboard clock still shows a second to be played.
Emmanuel King, number 92, took sort of a cheap shot right towards the end of the play, and that may be where the penalty came from. Bud Grant used to always call that roughing. There's nothing they can do to hurt you.
Looks like Emmanuel King's the guy that's hurting.
Right, a personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 92 of the Raiders will penalize in a dead ball spot. First down.
It was indeed against Emmanuel King, a former number 1 of the Bengals.
Right at the end of this play, you'll see Emmanuel King throw one of those Mike Tyson lefts, which didn't really hit anybody. He sort of pushed the guy in the face mask. It comes right at the end of the play. You can see right at, right at the bottom of the frame.
Got Adrian White.
He threw a right first. It looked like he almost dislocated his elbow. Emmanuel King.
Verline and the Raiders come out of the huddle now, probably just to down the ball and end the half.
Well, with Willie Gault lined up as a halfback, I don't think they're going to run a play.
That'll do it. A standoff through 2 quarters of play. The Raiders and the Giants tied up at 17-17. So Los Angeles in the game many thought they would not do well in this bitter cold. Do very well indeed as Parcells and the Giants in a game they consider vital go to the locker room tied up. NFL Live is coming up next.
I've got a special appreciation for policemen. My dad was a police officer. When I was still very young, he responded to a call. It was a bank robbery in progress. In the exchange at the bank, one of the robbers dropped his gun and it discharged and killed my father. He died in the line of duty. I'm Eric Dorsey of the New York Giants. Over the years, I've come to understand how a policeman risks his life every day to protect us when he's on duty. As a United Way volunteer, I've seen the good these same policemen do for their communities, even when they're off duty. United Way supports the Police Athletic League here in the tri-state area. And your contribution to the United Way makes this kind of program the most important protection these kids have against the dangers of drugs, alcohol abuse, and the violence in our cities. So for me and them, our thanks for your support of the United Way. The United Way, it brings out the best in all of us. Right, guys?
Yeah! This message furnished by the National Football League.
Stay tuned for NFL Live after these messages from your local station.
Tuesday, is it magic or is it murder?
Nothing is as it seems.
Only Matlock the Great can find the key to a shocking mystery.
That's some trick.
A magical Matlock. Then a sex scandal.
Well.
And a deadly intruder put Tibbs on trial.
You have nothing concrete.
In the heat of the night, followed by Midnight Caller Tuesday.
This year, 10 million people will buy a new car.
Turn the key.
And today's sophisticated engines deserve an equally sophisticated fuel. Exxon 93 Supreme. The fuel that lets you concentrate on why you bought the car in the first place. Exxon 93 Supreme. Precision equipment for precision engines. Just turn the key.
You know, I bought my Toyota Camry because 3 separate mechanics, Fred, Jeff, and Kevin, told me the Camry was a really reliable car.
Now he waves when he goes by the shop, but he doesn't stop.
Can't believe you told him to buy such a reliable car.
They were right. My Camry's been really dependable.
I didn't tell him to buy one. I said they were reliable. You did too.
He'll never see me again.
No use crying over spilled milk.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Don't let your doctor fool you. Monday, live at 5.
This is Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad back at Giant Stadium. There's been some hitting today, but the turnovers have been kept down 1 each way. The first half story could be the passing of Steve Berline, a bitter cold. He's hit 9 of 14 throws for the Raiders, 135 yards and 2 touchdowns, has not been intercepted, as the Raiders have played the Giants to a standoff 17-17 after the Giants took an early 7-0 lead the first time they touched the ball. Now it's time to go to New York to NFL Live and to Bob Costas. Bob?
Merry Christmas and a welcome back to folks from all around the nation. People watching Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Miami, and the Raiders and the Giants. Bob Costas with O.J. Simpson and the Raiders putting up a heck of a fight at the Meadowlands, tied at 17 at the half.
Well, thus far it's been a well-played football game, even though I can't say that about a little of the officiating there. Right before the half, there was a very, very bad call against the Raiders, in my opinion. It was an up pattern. There was a little contact on the play. You'll see it right here. That's Terry McDaniels, the Raider player, making some contact. But if you can throw a flag on this play, you can throw a flag on 90% of the up patterns thrown in the NFL. It led to a 3-point field goal for the Giants, and that's why the score is tied. Well-played football game. The thing to watch in the second half is guys cramping up, because when the weather is this cold, but the sun is out and they're running all out, look for those big linemen to start cramping up in the second half.
So Bjorn Nitmo hits the field goal to tie it at 17 at the half. Steve Berline has a pair of touchdown passes for the Raiders, one of them covering 30 yards to Mervyn Fernandez. Dave Meggett, a 76-yard punt return for the game's opening touchdown for the Giants. But the next time he tried to handle a punt, he fumbled it. The Raiders recovered and capitalized with what proved to be, at that point in the game, a tying touchdown. Philadelphia just extended their lead at home over Phoenix to 21-7. Glancing at the monitor, the Cardinals have the ball with about 15 seconds to play in the first half, and they're at about their own 40-yard line, so there's a good chance that 21-7 will be the halftime score. A little bit of everything for the Eagles. Cunningham to Robert Drummond for a touchdown. Cunningham running 14 yards on his own for a TD. Roger Ruzek, the kicker, off a fake field goal with a 22-yard touchdown pass to Chris Carter. Philadelphia clinches a wild card with a win, and if they win and the Giants lose, they move back and take the title in the NFC East. Kansas City and Miami, teams with faint wild card hopes. Almost everything has to break right for the winner of this game. Don Shula, in 39-degree temperatures in his home stadium, that's unusual even in December, watches his team take a 7-0 lead as Marino hits the versatile veteran Jim Jensen with this touchdown pass. But Steve DeBerg comes right back off the play-action fake for Kansas City. Stephon Page tumbles in from 20 yards out. The game is tied at 7. It was 14-7 Miami when James Saxon broke some tackles, bulled over people, and tied it again for Kansas City. And then Christian Okoye gave them the lead, which they hold now at halftime. The NFL's leading rusher plowing across from the 1-yard line, 21-14 in favor of Kansas City at the half. They've gone to the third quarter now at the Superdome in New Orleans, and the Saints trying to do the other AFC wildcard contenders a favor, leading the Colts by a score of 10-6. Ron Meyer knows that no matter what happens elsewhere, his fate is in his hands. If he wins, his team is a wild card in the AFC. Here's the only touchdown of the game so far. Eric Martin making the leaping catch of the 3-yard flip from John Forcade. New Orleans early in the third leading 10-6. Tampa Bay at home against Pittsburgh, the game some of you are watching. Rod Woodson sets up one CD with a 72-yard kickoff return, sets up the late Gary Anderson field goal with an interception. In between, Bubby Brister throws 2 touchdown passes to Lewis Lips. Pittsburgh trying to finish at 9-7, leading at Tampa Bay 24-10. Green Bay at Dallas. Now the Packers have a wild card shot and a good one, and of course they have a shot at the title in the NFC Central if they win this game and Minnesota loses at home tomorrow night against Cincinnati. Green Bay in the third, leading Dallas in Dallas 10-3, trying to send Dallas to a 1-15 finish for the season. The Rams clinch a wild card if they win at New England, and they are leading there 10-3 at halftime. Jerry Gray picks one off, thrown by Steve Grogan, brings it back 27 yards for the tie-breaking touchdown. And Detroit is trying to close the season by winning 5 in a row, and they're leading at Atlanta halftime there. The score is 14-10. If the Falcons should lose the game, then they get the #1 choice in the upcoming college draft. Roy Green just latched onto a touchdown as time expires in the first half in Philadelphia. And so the lead is down to 21-14. Phoenix moving back to within a touchdown in the game at Philadelphia of importance to Giant fans. We go to NBC News after this.
Tuesday, a sex scandal.
Well.
And a deadly intruder put Tibbs on trial.
You have nothing concrete.
In the heat of the night, and a serial killer is on the loose.
You're next, Jack.
And Killian's on his greatest hits list.
Any thoughts on the matter, Jack?
Midnight Caller following Matlock and In the Heat of the Night, Tuesday.
Sunny skies and 0 chance of rain through Sunday.
Good news. There's no snow in our forecast today.
Mercedes-Benz introduces 4MATIC. Outwitting the weather and the road with the most advanced all-wheel drive system ever put in a car. 4MATIC. It may just obsolete other all-wheel drive systems. Not to mention weather forecasts.
Meet siblings without rivalry. Next on A Hue.
Good afternoon. I'm Tom Brokaw in New York, and on this Christmas Eve, there is no peace in Romania, while in Panama, U.S. forces are feeling more confident, but Manuel Noriega remains at large. Romania, the last of the major East European countries to challenge 40 years of communist imprisonment, is a country at war, Romanian against Romanian. The forces dedicated to freedom against those still loyal to the old ways of political oppression and military terrorism. Pro-democracy forces say the dictator, Nicolae Ceausescu, is under arrest, but he has not been seen. Highly trained and well-armed forces still loyal to Ceausescu have turned the capital city, Bucharest, into a major battleground. The Securitate, the paramilitary wing of the secret police, moves around the city using secret underground passageways, emerging to fire on pro-democracy forces. Civilians were on the run, but they will not give up, manning barricades at almost every intersection. Bands of vigilantes roam the city, grabbing weapons from the dead and firing on forces they believe want to preserve the old oppressive system. This, as you can see, is a city in chaos. The hospitals and morgues are filling up. But then, this is the most fierce fighting in Europe since World War II, street to street. It is still too early to know the number of dead and wounded, but it is already in the thousands and climbing. Some of the heaviest fighting has been around the central television station, where pro-democracy forces have managed to maintain control despite heavy attacks from the Ceausescu troops. This is the scene in a morgue. Body after body stacked up, many of them executed at point-blank range. We're told at this hour that the fighting has subsided somewhat. Many of the civilians have been enlisted into the army, put in uniform. Much of that footage came from NBC News' Arthur Kent and Joe Alacastro, who were forced to escape the television station during one intense assault. And Arthur is on the phone now from Bucharest in Romania. Arthur, can you tell us what's going on at this hour? It's now nighttime in Romania.
It is, Tom. Night has fallen, and I'm afraid that the lull in the fighting has ended. As has been the case so often before, a few crackles of automatic rifle fire has now been followed by heavy machine gun fire and spirited and lethal exchanges between those holdout Securitate forces still loyal to Ceausescu and it's trying to back the reform movement. We can see tracers lighting up the sky once again, and it's a long night in Bucharest, I'm afraid.
Can you tell who's ahead and who's behind in this battle, Arthur?
I'm sorry, Tom, I can't hear you for the firing. Could you repeat that?
Yes, can you tell who is ahead in this battle for control of the country?
I think certainly it has to be said that the popular support of the people and the organization of the army so far puts them well out in front. It seems impossible to believe that the loyalist forces, the specially trained troops of Ceausescu, can come back and try to some sort of hardline rule. However, these are very, very skilled fighters, groomed from their teenage years in the art of evasion and counterterrorism, and as we are seeing now in their very adept skills at sniping from the rooftops in the area of...
Okay. Thank you very much. Arthur Kent in Bucharest tonight. In Panama, where another 2,000 American troops have been sent in as reinforcements, U.S. officials say the situation improving, but it's not yet over. Some Panama City businesses managed to open today as American troops tighten control of the streets. Also, the new government, with the help of the United States, is forming Panamanian security forces to counter the pro-Noriega vigilante brigades. And standing by in Panama right now is NBC's Mike O'Connor. Mike, does it have some semblance of normality in that capital city now?
Well, normality in that there's not much fighting left. Or normality in that you can walk down the street and feel more or less invulnerable to sniper attacks, because there aren't any anymore. But the streets are full of garbage, the streets are full of debris taken from the stores, and there's a sense of people wanting to know what's going to happen next and not being sure of that. So normality, this, I'd say, the first step toward normality.
Thank you very much. NBC's Mike O'Connor tonight in Panama. President Bush, apparently heartened by these reports of progress in the military situation there, interrupted his holiday weekend at Camp David to go to the Pentagon to get a briefing and to address the American troops in Panama by telephone. The president arrived by Marine helicopter. He has been spending the weekend in the Maryland mountains, and then tomorrow he's scheduled to go to Texas, where he is expected to stop off in San Antonio and talk with some of the men who were wounded in the Panamanian operation. That's the situation at this hour in Panama and Romania. I'm Tom Brokaw, NBC News, New York.
And back at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands of New Jersey, halftime score is the Raiders 17 and the Giants 17. The Raiders coming to this game as a full touchdown underdog, but playing exceptionally well. And you get the feeling as this game wears on, Ahmad Rashad, that we could see more turnovers. There was one each way here in the first half. But this weather's getting worse, and the hitting intensity is as higher at the outset.
It really does. As I mentioned earlier, one of the toughest things when you got a cold weather game is holding on to that football. And that plays a major role as the game goes on and the temperature starts to go down.
Steve Berline, who played in a lot of cold weather games at Notre Dame, he's a native Southern Californian, probably had the best first half of any player on the field, as he hit all over the field with some deep throws and got the ball into the end zone twice for both Raider touchdowns. The Giants capitalizing late in the second quarter on a pass interference call against Terry McDaniel. And shortly thereafter, Bjorn Nitmo hit the tying field goal. But I think the Giants expected him out coming in to put them away early, and they have not.
They really did. And what the Giants like to do is have that ball control. They like to have that big time of possession when you look at the stat sheet. But as the first half has gone, the Raiders have had the ball 19 minutes to 11 minutes for the Giants.
Well, as we look at the first half numbers, the Raiders have a big advantage in time of possession. Look at that. And also in total yards, 159 to 107. Sims could not throw it all early. He was just 2 for his first 9. And then he started to get on target, move the ball downfield. But it is a bitter cold day. As mentioned throughout, it was -7 chill factor at the outset of the day. It is way below that now. And in this area of New Jersey, the winds tend to pick up greatly late in the day on a cold day. Nobody knows better than that than Parcells and Sims, who live in it and who win in it. And here we go now to the second half kickoff as the ball is hit downfield, and running it back is Mark Ingram for the Giants. He crosses the 30. He's not done as he's out across the 35-yard line. Dennis Price, a defensive back from UCLA, number 20, saved a lot more return yards from going against the Raiders when he cornered Ingram and knocked him down.
Without Dennis Price there to make that play, I'm talking about we're going all the way the other way. This was a touchdown without that touchdown-saving tackle. Fine play by Dennis Price, number 20.
And a 25-yard return. Fernandez is over the 1,000-yard mark receiving for the Raiders this season. He had a standout first half. In the end zone once with the ball. Horton caught the other touchdown pass. Giants on offense have Eric Moore and Doug Riesenberg at tackles. William Roberts and Brian Williams at guards. Bart Oates is their center. Bill Sims at quarterback. Started the day with 14 touchdown throws and 14 interceptions.
Bart Oates didn't like that ball, called for a new ball.
Carthon goes right. Sims throws a screen. Up for grabs. It's incomplete. O.J. Anderson, the intended receiver.
And O.J., a pretty good receiver coming out of the backfield. This ball just a little bit high, and it hit him right on the top of his fingers. Here you see Greg Townsend. He's coming in. Now he's getting held right there by Moore. He's got him right underneath the chin, but he doesn't get called for it. Win some, you lose some.
Interesting amount. The Giants have only got one ball to a wide receiver. Manuel has the only wide receiver reception for 11 yards. Virtually all the Raider passing yards has come to Fernandez, Alexander, or Galt. Those three have combined. Here's Sims looking for a long ball downfield. Robinson can't get to it, trying to adjust to the bone flight. Lionel Washington covering.
The Raiders have always been very good on man-to-man on the outside wide receivers. Al Davis is a type of owner that goes out and tries to find guys that can play man-to-man defense, so you can free up your linebackers, free up your safeties, and let those corners play man-to-man. They've done a very fine job today. But when you talk about the Giants, they like to go to that tight end. They miss Bavaro, but Zeke Moa is trying to take up the slack. Sims, 6 for 15, 40% of his passes.
First possession of the third quarter. Giants with the ball, and coming on through a bit early is Howie Long. We'll see if he was drawn off. Howie and his wife, the proud parents of their third child.
75 defense. 5 yards penalty. Still third down.
Howie Jr. was born a couple of nights ago.
Here's the infraction. You see Howie just setting in the stance and then taking off a lot early. That's where, you know, when you're running in like that and nobody else moves, you know you went too quick.
Third down comes up for the Giants. 3rd and 5. Sim with that one glove on, not on his throwing hand. No, look at that stick. Eddie Anderson, the free safety, comes up with a thunderous hit on rookie Dave Meggett just as the ball came in.
They play inside and outside on Dave Meggett because they know one man can't cover him. As he breaks to the outside, here comes Eddie Anderson, number 33, and just as that ball gets there, he puts a nice hitting surface there on him, knocks him down and knocks the ball away. Eddie Anderson.
He was cut by Seattle. Has been a big player for the Raiders this season. Sean Landetta now into punt for New York. There's Stephon Adams back for the Raiders. Booming punt by Landetta. Stephon Adams fields it inside his 5. He might have been well of a dive to let it go into the end zone. Here's a penalty marker down on the tackle. Raiders will start deep in their own end. Dan Land might have made an illegal block trying to keep free Stephon Adams. As Landetta, been an all-pro player, hit a 56-yard punt.
This was not a good decision to catch that ball. That ball was headed into the end zone.
Illegal block in the back, number 25 during the run back. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
The lower right side of your frame, you see just a block right there in the back.
How bad was that?
By Dan Land. That's just an obvious clip. That's a mistake compounding another mistake. The first mistake was catching the ball down there inside the 5-yard line, and then you compound that mistake with that block by Land. The Raiders are not in very good field position right here, to say the least.
And the Giants will be hunting the football here. Raiders' first possession of the second half. 96 yards from the Giant end zone. They go to Smith. He gets him a little room as he gets out to the 6-yard line. Gary Reasons and Pepper Johnson, a couple of inside backers, combined on the tackle. Gain of just 2 yards on the play. There's Gary Reasons, who made a much publicized hit of Bobby Humphrey and a goal line stand in the Denver game. The Giants went on to beat the Broncos 14-7. 76,000 strong. This stadium is sold out on a season ticket basis for both the Giants and the Jets. Bo Jackson breaks it up the middle, and after he's down, a penalty marker comes in. Giants are pointing at the Raiders. You see how close Jackson was to going the distance. Holding call against the Raiders.
Art Shell, being a former all-world offensive lineman himself does not like a call like that down in this area. They were just one.
Holding 68 offense. After this is to the goal line.
Wilkerson.
Put the ball on about the 2.5-yard line. Replay the second down.
Bo Jackson was just a stumble away from showing everybody how you take a ball plus 90 yards, because nobody touched him when he was back into the secondary before he stumbled and fell down.
Yeah, that negated a 9-yard gain as it was. It would have been a first down. Instead, it's second down and 11. Game is tied, 17 all. They pick up the blitz, but the ball is slapped back. John Washington, number 73, playing left end, got a hand on the ball. Third down and 11 comes up for the Raiders.
Steve Berline looking for Bo Jackson again on that play. It's a fine play by Washington just to get his hands up. You want to get in the face of those quarterbacks. That's just a hurry. Sometimes, you know, things like that, when you hurry a quarterback, it's almost more important than making a sack. Look to the right-hand side of your screen. You see Johnson get his arm up and just knock this ball away.
Lone wideout is Galt. They go to the run, just looking for room to punt the ball. They go straight ahead, and John Washington again makes the play, along with Eric Howard, the nose tackle, and Gary Reasons. Field position tells the story at this point in the game, a tie game, but the Raider punter is deep in his end zone now to kick the ball. Jeff Gossett, and the Giants return man, who's run one back today for 76 yards for a touchdown. Dave Meggett is standing at his 48.
We'll talk about return man. The biggest mistake of this game so far was Stephon Adams catching that ball inside the 5.
Shank punt. We'll see what the bounce is like. It takes a Raider bounce, and it hits Meggett in the face, and he falls on it at the 40. So the Giants' second possession of the third quarter will originate at the 40-yard line of the Raiders. No scoring up yet in the second half as they start up after the whistle. Giant Stadium in the winter can be an Arctic wind tunnel, and the wind is kicking up and the temperature is dropping.
They predicted a gloomy year for everyone. But they didn't count on Mazda, with cars and trucks engineered to feel just right. Now Mazda is racing toward an all-time sales record, with record-setting deals that can get you $750 cash back on 89 Mazda trucks now. So come get a record-setting deal at the Mazda Race to the Record. At your local Mazda dealer now.
It began as a game. It turned into a battle. And now, it's out of control. Bud Bowl 2, coming January 28th. This time, it's war.
You wish your data were better directed, that all your departments were interconnected. How you gonna do it? Well, you're gonna PS to it with the IBM PS2. You want to network up, network down, exchange information with other towns. When you're all linked up, you can share ideas from bottom to top. How you gonna do it? I'll tell you. You're gonna PS to it. The solution is IBM.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on. And by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right.
Giants are set to go on offense. Good field position to start their second drive of the third quarter. All inside the Raider 40. Tie game 17 all. Power run. O.J. Anderson takes it down to the 37-yard line.
This is a very critical penalty right here, because the Raiders have a chance to get out of trouble right here with this run by Bo Jackson. But we get a holding call here. And it's just things starting to snowball. Minimalist errors trying to snowball for the Raiders, with first the bad punt decision by Adams. Then you get a clipping penalty, and then you get a holding penalty. Any more penalties like that, the Raiders will run themselves out of business.
Devon Adams fielding a punt inside his 5 when he could have let it go into the end zone. Here is Anderson getting the swing pass. On a 2nd down and 8 play, he's ahead for maybe 3 or 4 yards. Mike Harden, the Raiders' strong safety, the former Denver Bronco, knocked him down.
O.J. Anderson, even though he's 32 years old, always, and this has been a trademark of his entire career, he always gets positive yardage. He's always a guy that's always going forward. You don't see him too often where he gets in a situation where he'll get dropped for minus yardage. He's always going forward. Very strong in the legs.
Broke all the rushing records at Miami of Florida. Your old teammate, Chuck Foreman.
One of the greatest I've ever played with, Chuck Foreman.
Probably the best in the league in his heyday. Anderson came into the league in '79 and rushed for over 1,600 yards as a rookie. Sims in the flat. Meggett makes the play, and he's down inside the 20-yard line. And isolated out of the backfield on linebacker Jerry Robinson. It was an overmatch. Meggett's too fast. 13 yards and a Raider first down.
And Jerry Robinson, as I said earlier in the game, his biggest fear was trying to cover Dave Meggett. He just got him one-on-one, and now Robinson knows it's just a foot race right here. And there's not one linebacker in the league, I think, that can cover Dave Meggett out of the backfield. He just puts too much pressure on a linebacker. He has too much going forward for a linebacker to be able to cover him running backwards.
He was the 1AA Player of the Year at Towson State. Last year, 5th-round pick of the Giants as Anderson runs. The Raiders hold on. Lionel Washington, the right side cornerback, 48, got a hold of a leg and didn't let go as O.J. takes it down to the 15. As we look at the scoreboard now, Eagles with a 7-point lead over Phoenix. New Orleans has extended its lead over the Indianapolis Colts to 17-6 in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, they're
That's
down
good
there.
News for the Raiders.
They're down there talking about who dat down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, that club won't be in the playoffs, but they've beaten a lot of teams that are going. Rams playing well in the cold at New England. 2nd down 5 for Sims and the Giants, and now they go to Anderson. Straight ahead run game, and he takes it down to the 13-yard line. Anderson with a lot of carries this year, averages just 3.1, but he's approaching 1,000 yards for the season.
This is the kind of offense that the Giants like to get you, the kind of a football game that they like to get you in, where they have the ball for quite a long time and keep you on your end of the field. So even if you do get the ball back, you're always operating from a minus situation.
Field position's been the Raiders. There's the Giants in the 2nd half. They've been plus field position all half. They go to 2 tight ends now, ready to power run right. Anderson right is cut down in a hard jolting hit at the 11-yard line. A 3rd and 2 carry is short of the first down. Thomas Benson, who's been a big player for the Raiders, a Plan B free agent, came in from New England. Oklahoma backer number 52 or 54 made the head-on strike. Will the Giants look to break the tie with a field goal? They have 4th and a yard. Watch your kick it.
Bill Parcells looking out there pointing, saying, go ahead, boys. If we're going to get the big prize, we're going to have to get in a situation like this and come out successful. Even if they don't, they still got the Raiders down in their own end, and the strength of their team is their defense.
And the form chart favors the Giants on these 4th down attempts. As you see, 16 of 21 they've converted. 4th and a yard, over the top, and Anderson has a first down for the Giants. He's down to the 10-yard line with 9:06 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Talking about a coach being a player's coach, players love decisions like that. It gives you a chance to show what you can do. You have an offensive line like this that has a guy in the backfield that's close to 1,000 yards. For the last 3 years, they've always had a great running back, and that starts with the offensive line. So you give them a yard to go, they honestly believe that they can get it every single time.
Anderson needs about 21 yards now to reach 1,000 yards for his 5th season as a pro. Hasn't been there since '84. Here's Anderson looking at the end zone. He's down to the 5 on a cutback run. Benson got him. So the Giants with field position, and Parcells' team going to that power game now, Matt, trying to just push it into the end zone.
You know, he's an old tackle himself. He's played a little offensive tackle, and he knows that you got a line like they got with a bunch of 300-pounders on down there. What you want to do now is just lean on them guys in front of you and just keep powering it into the end zone.
Extended drive. Giants have owned the ball in the third quarter, but the game is still tied. That could change as O.J. Anderson takes it down to the goal line. No signal. He's down close, but not in. Big block by Moat. Big block by the other tight end, Cross. Mike Wise made the tackle.
That is called the avalanche effect. You saw the offensive line pushing ahead, and once O.J. Anderson got in there and started pushing along with those offensive linemen, the pile just kept going backwards and backwards.
Clock running, 7:20 to play in the third quarter. Anderson, the lone setback, power blocker. Carthon is set right. They could be going that way. Anderson up the middle and takes it in. And the Giants break the tie. O.J. Anderson with the personal best 14th touchdown of this season. Extra point by Nitmo is up and good. So the decision to field a punt inside his 5 by Stephon Adams looms large as field position has led to this Giant score.
This isn't an ad for diapers. This is an ad for Zenith's astonishingly automatic, high-resolution VHS camcorder. When you have a Zenith camcorder like this, babies will play a leading role. Zenith, quality.
The Mazda race to the record is almost over. We said we'd do whatever it took to set an all-time sales record, and we're almost there. But the race isn't over yet. There's still time to get record-setting deals, including savings of up to $1,000 on 626 and MX6. But hurry, the Mazda race to the record will soon be over. At your local Mazda dealer now.
They say drink plenty of fluids. Swallowing's total pain.
Introducing new advanced formula chloroseptic with the power of phenol. It penetrates nerve endings to work on contact, so it gives the fastest relief. And nothing lasts longer. New advanced formula chloroseptic works fastest, and nothing lasts longer. Now the fast, long-lasting relief of advanced formula chloroseptic comes in new Cool Mint spray. Also, try new Cool Mint lozenges.
See, this is real football here. You see William Roberts, number 66, right here, just power over number 79, Bob Golick. And then O.J. Anderson, who they say is too old, he only touched the ball 9 out of the 10-play drive, 8 rushes and 1 reception, and takes it right there into the end zone. Here comes O.J. Anderson. The reason I call this real football, see, they got them little light wide receivers and people out of the game. They got the real boys in there now, and Al Davis looking on with some concern, and rightly so.
But you remember, the Raiders were down at the outset of the first quarter on a 76-yard punt return by Meggett and came back to take the lead. Now they're down by a touchdown again. Here comes Stephon Adams on the return. He is at the 26-yard line with 6:57 to go in the third quarter. And now we go to NFL Live in New York to Bob Costas. Bob?
Okay, Don, all the other AFC wildcard contenders hoping that the Colts will lose at the Superdome. The Saints are doing their part. Bobby Morse fields the punt. On the reverse, he hands it to Robert Massey. 54 yards later, the Saints are in business deep in Colt territory. Dalton Hilliard scored from the 7. New Orleans 17, Indianapolis 6. Back to Don and Ahmad.
So that is good news for the Raiders. The scoreboard putting pressure on the Giants. The Eagles are winning at home today. A Giant victory gives them the divisional title and assures them home field and a week off in a divisional playoff game, but a Giant loss means they'll have to go to play the Rams in all probability in the wild card next week at Anaheim. Rams are winning handily at New England. Out throw, Willie Gault dives at the ball. Did he get it? Official says no.
This ball got into Willie Gault's chest and then bounced out. If you watch right at the end, Willie Gault, number 83, the ball gets right into his chest, and it bounces off that shoulder pad onto the ground, and that's a very good call by the official, standing right on top of it.
Yep, hit the ground. Galt has the best reception average in the AFC. Almost 26 yards. He doesn't catch that many. He's only got 26 catches.
But with him in the lineup, he always put the fear that he may go deep at any time.
Fernandez has been the guy. They're looking at him now. A downfield throw to Galt. And Willie Galt has the ball, and they ruled that he's got it apparently. It looked like it came in on the one hop. Another official's coming in and says no.
It certainly looked like it hit the ground. Where just as we were talking about Willie Galt, always have it being a threat, because you never know when he's going to take off and go deep. Here he just runs a corner pattern. He runs to the post and breaks it out to the corner. Now the ball can be thrown anywhere in that area. We can't really see it from that look. Here's another look. This is a better look. Watch the ball. Yep. Oh, yeah, it gets right through his hands, right to the ground. Great look there. That was an excellent shot at seeing that ball go through Galt's hand and bouncing off the ground.
Berline, 3rd and 10, looking to fire on the run. Here comes Marshall, and Berline wisely throws it away. The Raiders will have to punt the ball. Mervyn Fernandez was in the general vicinity, but he wasn't open. Berline was forced to throw it away, as not to take a behind-the-line loss.
Berline a little bit upset by that, because he had some time to throw the ball. He just couldn't find an open receiver.
Jeff Gossett is in to punt the ball now for Los Angeles. Dave Meggett, the ever-dangerous Meggett, is back inside his 35. A high punt. Meggett from his 43. Here he goes. Look out, look out. Dave Meggett inside the 40, puts a move on, and gets away from the putter, and is finally run out of bounds. Gossett got enough of him to force him to run out. But again, the field position tells the story of this critical game. The Giants again have great field position to start a new drive. A 42-yard punt and a 23-yard return.
Dave Meggett is electrifying. He takes this ball with defenders in his face and then just takes off downfield, always looking for a chance to break the big one.
So now the pressure is on the Raider D.
They predicted a gloomy year for everyone. But they didn't count on Mazda, with cars and trucks engineered to feel just right. Now Mazda's racing toward an all-time sales record, with record-setting deals that can get you $750 cash back on 89 Mazda trucks now. So come get a record-setting deal at the Mazda Race to the Record. At your local Mazda dealer now.
Times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down.
A legend has been created. A better battery for the future. Better with more reserve power. Better with a warranty that lasts over 6 years. Better in price with a sale going on all through December. The Napa Legend. The better battery.
Morning, folks. This is Captain Neely. Appears we've got the friendly skies all to ourselves.
While most people are just getting up, one airline is off to over 200 business centers across the U.S. United.
Oh, thanks for flying the friendly skies.
Dave Meggett joining Taylor and Long, two Pro Bowl veterans in Honolulu in January. How about those return numbers of Meggett's on the punts, Imad?
Geez, 4 punts, 124 yards, 26-yard average on those punt returns. I think that he has convinced everybody why he's going to the Pro Bowl.
He did the first punt return of the game, a 76-yard return for a touchdown. Giants have the ball in a 7-point lead. 6:22 to play, third quarter. Pitch back. Running high with the ball is Lewis Tillman, a first-year back from Jackson State. They think he could turn into a game breaker. Lewis Tillman, breakaway speed. Howie Long got him, number 75. Eagles continue to lead Phoenix New Orleans still in command of the Indianapolis Colts in the fourth quarter now at the Superdome, where Super Bowl 24 will be played. Steelers having a great year. They're a long shot for the playoffs, but they're going to finish 9-7. New England getting back into the game with the Rams now. Second down and 10. Tillman failed to gain on his first carry. Sims over the middle throw, and the play is made by Cross. Another standout reception by the first-year tight end from Alabama. Howard Cross, whose first catch for the Giants was good for 27, this time comes down with a 24-yard reception, and the Giants are challenging to score yet again.
This is a confidence builder if you're a receiver and the quarterback sees you covered and still throws you the ball anyway. A great throw by Phil Sims. And Howard Cross, a man not noted for his kicking ability, has shown today that if you throw him the ball, he can catch it. He's a great blocker.
First down and 10 for the first down. First and 11 for a touchdown. Fighting for yards is O.J. Anderson. This second half absolutely turned on one play. Giants came out. Raiders stopped him. Raiders on a punt return decision by Stephon Adams. He fielded it over the shoulder inside his 5. Found themselves deep in their own end. They couldn't get out of trouble. The subsequent punt was taken by the Giants, and soon after they were in for the go-ahead touchdown.
And no one knows that better than Al Davis. In a game like this, which has, it's just like a playoff game. It's usually a one mistake that turns the tide in a game like this, and that mistake so far has been done, as you said, that punt catch by Stephon Adams.
Anderson hit by Benson at the 4-yard line on a second down and 7 play. Got ahead for 4. Giant is down.
Otis Anderson.
Might be Brian Williams, the right guard, 300-pound rookie from Minnesota. Game clock stopped with 4 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Brian Williams obviously in a lot of pain there.
O.J. up to $9.95 for the season now, Ahmad. O.J. Anderson.
He's a very intelligent back. If you watched him run that last play, you watch how he hugs his lineman. He stays right with his lineman until they make the block, then he makes the break.
I just did something incredible. 5 minutes ago, I had gray hair, but now I don't. And this is what did it. New Option Instant from Clairol. The advanced way to get rid of the gray. Option Instant for men is different. With theirs, you have to pour and mix ingredients, but Option's the advanced way. All you need is this. It's so easy. And only 5 minutes later, your natural-looking color's back.
Hair feels thicker, too.
New Option Instant from Clairol, the advanced way to get rid of the gray.
The Mazda race to the record is almost over. We said we'd do whatever it took to set an all-time sales record, and we're almost there. But the race isn't over yet. There's still time to get record-setting deals, including savings of up to $1,000 on 626 and MX6. But hurry, the Mazda race to the record will soon be over. At your local Mazda dealer now.
Thank you, Aunt Martha. No, not believable. Try. Thanks. Joe, pretend she just gave you a sundae. But she gives me stuff like this. Try again.
Hey, kids, look who's here.
Thank you, Aunt Martha.
You're welcome.
This Christmas, give something kids love. McDonald's gift certificates, just 50 cents each or 10 for $5.
It is a sundae.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Joe, say thank you.
Of McDonald's.
I forgot.
Come home to the best in college football as Auburn battles Ohio State in the Hall of Fame Bowl. And number 5 Florida State takes on 6th-ranked Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl. And a game that will determine the national championship as number 1 Colorado battles 4th-ranked Notre Dame at the Orange Bowl. New Year's Day, the best bowls are on NBC.
Brian Williams, who has really been coming on as a feature star on the offensive line, a number 1 draft pick out of Minnesota for the Giants, going off now. His left knee was being looked at. Starting today at right guard. Giants with a huge offensive line, a lot of high picks in there, and they're all starting to come together as one of the league's best. But doesn't look like Brian Williams will be back today, Ahmad.
No, when you go off on, and you see he just gets his legs caught up underneath the O.J. Anderson. There's knee, hits right on that right knee. And just twisted as he goes down. He was able to stand up before he sat down on his little truck to be taken off. We hope it's not serious.
Giants have had good success against AFC West teams. They won, beat the Chargers, beat Seattle, and beat Denver. And allowed in those 3 games only 1 offensive touchdown in total. Raiders are 1-6 on the road. Only win was right here in Giant Stadium against the Jets this year on the road. Sims looks, fires. Incomplete. It's caught, but he was out of bounds. Mark Ingram, who only had 17 catches coming into the game, a former #1 out of Michigan State, but about 10 of them are highlight reel catches. He can really make the acrobatic catch. Here comes Bjorn Nitmo, now looking to extend the Giants' lead to 10 points with 3:32 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Know where you are in that end zone as a receiver. Doesn't do any good to catch that ball if you're out of bounds. You got, at least if you got a chance at it, make sure you got a chance to come down in the end zone.
Nitmo hit one just before halftime to tie the game, 17 all. He delivers again, and the Giants have the biggest lead of this game as they're up in front of the Raiders by a 27-17 count. You hate to harp on it, but that decision to try and return a punt from inside his 5 cost the Raiders dearly. It cost them field position, and it led to scores. Let's go to Bob.
All right, Don, here's some more good news for the other AFC wildcard contenders, especially the Oilers, who are in if the Colts lose, in as a wild card. And the Colts are losing. John Fourcade flushed out of pocket, finds Hobie Brenner wide open for the 30-yard touchdown. Ron Myers in an 18-point hole in the 4th quarter, 24-6 New Orleans. Don?
Thank you, Bob. And here's the count here at Giant Stadium. Giants in the lead 27-17. With 3:29 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Don, games like Stephon Adams carrying a little bit of a burden right now. I'm sure he wants to do something big right now to get out of, to make up for fielding that punt not long ago. Down inside the 5-yard line.
Eagles continue to lead Phoenix by a touchdown, and as you saw, New Orleans putting away the Colts. So that helps the Raiders, but they have to help themselves, and right now here at Giant Stadium as they trail by 10. Raiders have an all-pro kick returner who's out for the season, and former Heisman winner Tim Brown, who now with a knee injury. Nitmo will re-kick with a 5-yard penalty or 10-yard penalty. At the 35 it goes to.
Phil Simms there on the red phone. Red phone, I'm sure somebody's saying good job because he has done exactly what it takes to try to get his team in a position to win this football game.
The penalty now, they bring the ball out to the 35 to negate the back and forth flow of people running back and forth to re-kick. Ball position at the 35-yard line where it's the Raiders ball, 1st down and 10. Burline, he'll be looking at Fernandez before long. He's not caught a ball in the 2nd half. He had a big 1st half. Here's Bo Jackson. And the Giants were reading 34 from the handoff. Reasons was through, number 55.
They start out, the Raiders do, with the best field position they've had so far in the 2nd half.
That's right.
Just by a penalty, by not getting a chance to run back that kickoff. Gives them a chance to a little bit of breathing room.
That's what O.J. Anderson said. Bo knows football and Bo knows baseball, but we're going to find a Bo knows ice and Bo knows wind. Burline, 2nd and 9. Broken up beautifully. Giants defending cornerback Mark Collins, number 25, got a hand up as they go to Fernandez deep.
Fernandez was bracketed that time. He had Collins in front of him, and Kennard coming over fast from the inside. He was not open.
Burline tried to force it in. Burline a big 1st half throwing. It was when the Raiders were seemingly in deep trouble after the Giants took an early 7-0 lead that Burline started to hit everything he threw and took them right down the field. Now is a big down for the Raiders. 3rd down and they need 9. Pressure's too much. Leonard Marshall was steamrolling in number 70 as an errant pass is forced. Greg Cox also on the play. And the Raiders have to punt it again. And the Giant fans up and cheering. They sense the kill here in the third quarter.
It's turning into a Giant game. Once again, you'll see Leonard Marshall coming from the left-hand side of the screen. Marcus Allen tries to get in and help out, but it's too late. Just a great bull rusher is what they call that. When you just take the guy in front of you and run him right back into the quarterback.
That's what he did. Ran him right into his QB, and now Meggett takes it back on the punt return out to the 38-yard line. Let's watch Leonard Marshall again, Ahmad. Bull rushing the passer.
This is what they call the bull rush. Leonard Marshall just takes the man in front of him. As he backs up, Leonard catches him and just runs him right back into the quarterback. That's
Steve Wright.
Bruce Wilkerson.
Wilkerson he hit. All right, but whoever he was, he threw him right into him. And Marshall, the Giants feel, is having an all-pro season. He was not voted to the Pro Bowl.
You have a player like Lawrence Taylor who is so great. He overshadows all these players on his team. And they've got a lot of great players on the team, but because of Taylor, that's the only one you hear about.
10-point lead. They're liable to look to run the clock some now with the running game. And here comes Anderson turning upfield, and he's to the 43-yard line. Where Eddie Anderson, the free safety, and inside linebacker Thomas Benson were on the stop for the Raiders.
This Giant team, if they can get 4 yards a crack, they can do this better than anybody in the league. They get 4 yards and take it all the way down. And I think O.J. Anderson just reached 1,000 yards on the year.
Yes, he did.
Who said he was too old?
As you said, he was Plan C free agent. He was the only one who wanted him. He was eligible for Plan B, but got no offers. He's not rushed for 1,000 yards previously since 1984. Second down and 5, and Anderson breaks into the Raiders secondary. He's ahead for 6 yards and a New York first down. Lyndon King and Eddie Anderson on the stop. Giant salute for O.J. Anderson's 1,000-yard season. First and 10, right back to the money, but this time O.J. is thrown back by Howie Long.
Scott Davis, number 70 on the Raiders, he must have knew the snap count because he almost tackled Phil Simms before he handed off. Davis showing extreme quickness off the ball.
He broke through in the first half. You remember, he got that big sack of Phil Simms. Only 2 turnovers in the game, 1 for each side in the first half. Game clock down to 30 seconds to play in the third quarter. The Giants have outscored the Raiders in the second half 10-0 to take a 27-17 lead. Simms with a play fake, buys time, lets her fly. Roussan goes for the ball, but it's not close. Lee Roussan, number 22, backup fullback.
And Phil Simms still not throwing many balls to his outside receivers. He'd prefer to throw them to the running backs out of the backfield and his tight end. A lot of times it's a better mismatch there when you use those players. You get a running back on a linebacker making him run down the field, and you get a tight end on a safety.
Could be looking at a wide receiver now, Matt. He's got 3 in the game, Emmanuel, Baker, and Robinson. Howard Cross has been a weapon, too. The tight end from Alabama, the first-year player, has his first 2 receptions, averaging 26 a catch today. Downfield throw to Stephen Baker, who turns upfield, and Baker has a Giant first down. He takes the ball inside the 35-yard line. Manuel, a good downfield blocker, helped him after the catch.
Stephen Baker came in the game wondering how he was going to keep his hands warm. Well, there's one way to keep them warm, catch a lot of balls. Phil Simms, watch Phil Simms hold this ball to the last minute, allowing Baker to get open. He knew he was going to take the lick. He just hung on to the ball, let Baker come across the field, and put it right on him.
Yeah, good timing throw. Giants now with a first down and 10 and just 8 seconds to play in the third quarter. Lewis Tillman is struck hard as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Benson got him. Gun sounds. The Giants won the third quarter handily as Art Shell and his Raiders find themselves down by 10 going to the final 15 minutes.
In 13 cities in 10 countries across the Pacific, they're playing our song. United Airlines Royal Pacific Service, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve halfway around the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
New Britain, Connecticut is 119 miles from New York City. It only seems farther than that. People here live in the same houses their parents lived in, worship in churches where their grandparents worshipped, and work for the company their great-grandfathers built, the Stanley Works. So it's not surprising Stanley tools are made to last. It would only be surprising if they weren't.
Get ready for an eye drop so refreshing you won't believe your eyes.
Wow.
Look for Visine Extra. Like regular Visine, it gets the red out, but it also gives you an extra medication that cools, soothes, moisturizes, and protects dry, irritated eyes. For an extra medication in a formula found in no other eye drop, get Visine Extra. So refreshing.
You won't believe your eyes.
NBC Sports serves your need to know all week long. Dial 1-900-454-3500 for NBC Scores Plus. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the USA.
In the bitter cold at Giant Stadium, Giant fans in celebration as the Giants appear to be headed towards an NFC Eastern Championship. They can secure it with the win today, and they have taken a 27-17 lead over the Raiders after the two teams were tied at the half, 17 all. This is Don Criqui with Ahmad Rashad at sold-out Giant Stadium. The chill factor was 7 below at kickoff at 1 when the sun was bright. Now it's got to be way down. O.J. Anderson has gone to 1,000 yards. Tillman's in the game as the running back now. Sims stands in, downfield throw. He's got a tight end, Moad, and a penalty marker goes down at the line of scrimmage. Lyndon King on the tackle. Tillman rocked in his stance. They're calling it against the Raiders.
Mike Weiss had a couple of runs at it. He jumped out and then jumped back and then jumped out and then jumped back. One time too many, as he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar, as they say.
Apparently, Ahmad, they're going to rest O.J. Anderson, at least while they have this 10-point lead, and keep him healthy for the playoffs. O.J., what was he telling? He's going to have his victory tour next year. He's coming back like Kareem.
That's right.
Expecting gifts.
Number 90, offside. They're going to take the penalty. Replay the second down.
Hopes to get gifts all over the league.
Yeah, I think Dr. J and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar set up something on that tour around the league. But there you see number 90, Weiss, jumping off, then jumping back again. Then he gets caught. The ball snapped just as he's trying to get back. But as we were saying about O.J. Anderson, when Kareem's teammates gave him a Rolls Royce, O.J. said, "I want my time. I'm going to take my thing around the league."
Lewis Tillman, first year back from Jackson State, the lone setback. Carthon leads the blocking, and Tillman takes it inside the 30 on a 2nd and 7 carry. Now let's go back to NFL Live in New York. Bob?
Don, thank you. John Tagliabue of the New York Times, the brother of NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, was one of 4 journalists shot and wounded while covering the fighting in Romania today. Tagliabue was wounded in the back by a sniper who fired on a car carrying him and other reporters. All the reporters are expected to survive. John Tagliabue, the commissioner's brother, is listed now in satisfactory condition. Let's go back to Don and Ahmad.
So the grave situation in Romania carries closer to home. And that report, good to hear that they'll all be all right. As the throw downfield is connected to Stacy Robinson, who's inside the 25-yard line and down to the 23. Sims' confidence grows in this bitter cold as he keeps making the plays, and the Giants have a first down.
And O.J., you see Art Shell, they're not happy about much this afternoon. And the rest that we talked about that Bill Parcells was giving O.J. Anderson has ended. O.J. is now in the game. Phil Sims now just firing the ball out.
Raiders have not been in this game in the second half offensively. They started out in a hole on their first possession. The decision to return a punt from deep in their own end, the subsequent penalty, and they've never gotten out of the jam. Here's Anderson back in. Penalty marker comes in from the umpire. Probably an offensive holding call. Thomas Benson on the tackle for the Raiders. 12:58 to play. Parcells is particularly proud of this team. He doesn't think.
Holding 65 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Bart Oates, the center, is called for the hold. He was out here in a T-shirt before the game.
Yeah, told me.
Snapping the ball.
So you see Bart Oates, the center, right in the middle of your screen, number 65. He's grabbing Golick and just pulls his jersey down. He gets caught there. But we were talking about Oates being out here early. He had on just a T-shirt. Told me I should be. You know what? Anytime you ever, even if you travel through the Minnesota airport, people say you should be used to it. Yeah, you should be used to it.
You don't get used to this. I mean, it is really. There's a guy down here with his shirt off. We always have one of those. Fulbright scholar who's been let out for the day. .12:32 to go in the game. Giants with the ball in command, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
NBC's Christmas night gift to you. The award-winning movie for the whole family. The Sound of Music, Monday.
When do you drink America's favorite German beer?
Oh, only when I go out. I stay home.
Beck's. And when do you drink Beck's?
I used to drink it for a change of pace. Now it is my pace.
Beck's? Every once in a while. Or twice in a while. Or 3 times.
Beck's. How about you?
Only when I'm alone. Or with someone.
Beck's. The #1 imported German beer. In dark, too.
When you wire money this season with an American Express MoneyGram, you can send a lot of holiday cheer. For just $9, you can wire up to $500 to someone you love. Wire money from thousands of locations, and American Express will make sure it gets there, usually in under 10 minutes. What do you get when you give the other guys $9? Now anyone can brighten the holidays with an American Express MoneyGram. Don't send anything less.
We got the Toyota Camry because we both need a car with a lot of room.
Mrs. Martino has like about 10,000 suitcases full of junk she packs in their cover trips.
When we travel, Pat and I both have a lot of stuff. But it's never a problem loading the Camry.
Mr. Martino has like about 1 suitcase this big, but he gets to drive.
I love what you do for me, Toyota. Happy holidays!
Santa's got that corncob pipe fired up there. Giants have their fans fired up here at bitter cold Giant Stadium, leading 27-17. They look for their first NFC divisional title since their Super Bowl year in '86. First and 10 Giants. Sim makes the connection to Zeke Moab. Raiders doubling up the Giant wide receivers, and the tight ends have been running free. First and 20 was the play, and the game was good for about 14 yards. First and 20 after the holding call.
Fine jobs by Phil Sims looking for Moat the entire way. Moat come running across the middle, gets behind Jerry Robinson. Nice possession catch. Takes a rock of a hit there on the end, but he's a big, strong fella, 6'3", 240, and filling in very nicely for Bavaro. Now you see him going out to the sideline. Looked like he took a little shot right on the top of his shoulder, but when you see Ronnie Barnes over there, the trainer, smiling, it's a good sign.
The Giants were saying, Ahmad, well, most guys wouldn't be playing with the bad shoulder that Moat has, but they have to have him in there. Navarro can't go because of a knee injury. He could be ready for the playoffs. 2nd down and 8 for the Giants. Dumping it off. O.J. Anderson puts one person on the floor with a straight arm and takes it down to the 8-yard line. Benson finally got him. Anderson turns a no-gainer into a 12-yard pickup with the straight arm.
O.J. Anderson can not only run, but he can catch, he can stiff arm.
Robinson, he gets there.
He can cut. He still has it. He can still make that big play. That was just a great play by O.J. Anderson. He showed every facet of his game on one play.
Yes, he did. All on display there as the Giants are inside the 10, 1st and goal again. Hartman. Straight ahead rush down to the 3-yard line. In the second half, the Raiders haven't been vaguely close to even a long field goal attempt. They've not been in the game offensively. O.J. Anderson isn't the oldest runner to gain 1,000. John Henry Johnson did that for the Steelers when he was 35, gained 1,000 in a 12-game season.
When you look at these Giants, you start looking for O.J. Anderson. Here comes Maurice Carthen. And I really think the key and the heart and soul of this offense is that offensive line. They are really pushing people backwards. These backs have the opportunity to make the cuts. And anytime you have that room in front of you, it's the offensive line powering out.
It'd been a knockout punch now as the Giants look to put it again. Play fake. Sims rolling out. He'll take it in. Phil Sims. Touchdown, Giants.
Sims taking it on his own. You know, he's got that bad ankle. He's got it heavily taped.
That ankle and all, though, Phil Sims runs it in, and Nitmo, who's been perfect today, hits the point after, and the Giants have doubled the Raiders' output with 17 unanswered second-half points. The Giants have this game locked up, 34-17.
Don, what the Giants have been able to do is to put constant pressure on the Raiders in every facet of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. Once again, you see Phil Sims rolling out here. He's got that bad right ankle. That's why he's not cutting back inside. Takes it right to the corner and takes it in for the score. But, I mean, that's what you got to get when you play this team. You got to get a team that's going to come at you in every single aspect of the game, and they don't really have a real weakness.
Eric Moore, number 60, was out in front. Coach Parcells well pleased. So the Giants, unless the Raiders can really get their pass game cranked up, are going to win the division. Winners tell jokes, losers say deal, and Phil Sims is a winner right now. Art Shell and his Raiders under the gun. They've not been in the game offensively since the second half began.
And that is the way the Giants force you into playing. They just keep coming at you and coming at you. They did not have a dip at all in this football game. Whereas the Raiders had that little dip, the Giants took advantage of it and scored got a couple of scores there. And next thing you know, you're trying to play catch up with a team that's not going to give the ball back.
Phil Sims, like to say, he's had a lot of hospital time. As you look at Meggett, number 30, who had a touchdown. That running, he doesn't think it's dangerous for a quarterback. He's never been hurt doing it. It's getting sacked that puts you in the hospital. He missed 2 whole seasons with injuries. Bjorn Nitmo picking off again. It's a knuckleball downfield. Raiders finally pick up. This is Steve Smith taking it ahead. And he's across the 25-yard line to about the 27.
That Stephon Adams, the ball bounced up and he just slapped at it. That's a chance to even slap the ball. You might mess around and get a fumble again that time. You got to feel the ball when it comes at you. Just now on this kickoff, the ball bounced and Stephon Adams just slapped at it. You got to get in front and try to make have control of that ball. Now this was the biggest play I think of the game. His decision to try to field this ball inside the 5-yard line. It's a punt that obviously would have went into the end zone. Then it's compounded here by Land coming up and getting a clear-cut clipping penalty here, which sets them back to the 2-yard line.
And since that point on, the Raiders have not been in the game. They go around. Here's Marcus Allen darting upfield. Reminiscent of the great Marcus Allen years with the Raiders. He gets ahead for a gain of 10 yards and a first down on the play. But the Raiders need touchdowns, and they're going to have to go up top to get those. As we look again at the scoreboard, the 10-minute ticker telling the story. Eagles with a 10-point lead. If all stands as it is, the Eagles will go in as a wild card. Kansas City up in Miami, and the New Orleans Saints with an execution at this point of the Colts. Merlin out throw, perfectly timed. He gets it to Mervin Fernandez for a Raider first down. They stop the clock with 9:10 to play. More scores. Pittsburgh closing in on a 9-7 season, a great comeback year for the Steelers.